I have something spicy for you, some interesting information.
Oh, really?
Beam is running the absolutely non-standard but very interesting composition of 3 Firebrands.
Three
And I believe
firebrands. Ooh.
2 Scrappers and 1 Tempest. That's normal so far. Then we have 5 Spellbreakers, 2 Chronomancers, and I think 1 Thief and 2 Renegades. Something along those lines, but 5 Spellbreakers is confirmed, and all of the Spellbreakers are on DPS builds, so Beam is ready to get in there.
Oh, very, very interesting build here. Wow.
And
I mean,
0 Scourges. 0 Scourges for Beam.
how do you think? Well, here's the thing. And XV, I believe, is running a pretty much meta comp right now, right?
Remember
See.
standard, I think they are running the Dragon Hunter.
All right, they've
Yes,
been
they are
running
running
that, and
Dragon.
I feel like it's been proven successful for them so far. Although we've seen
Yeah,
instances where the Dragon Hunter isn't able to keep up with the squad and eventually gets targeted out simply because a lot of skills just take, isolate that particular class. How do you factor in the fact that Beam is going to run all of those and XV being a very, with the exception of the Dragon Hunter, it's more or less a very standard comp that they're running. What weaknesses and strengths do you see between both guilds right now? In this exact comp between both guilds.
I think if you're on 5 Spellbreakers, you're gonna lack a little bit in single target focusing. Necro is really good in single target focusing. They have the focus 5 and also the shade skills just to really track down enemy single targets, crop them, keep them under pressure. And Spellbreaker really is not as good at that. Spellbreaker is really good at AoE control, CC, a bit of AoE cleave in melee, right? So it's more of a get in there and keep DPSing and make sure that they cannot out-sustain you. So that's a little bit of the difference in there. Of course, Beam still has the Renegades, which also provide a lot of single target strip and single target CC. So they still have access to some single targeting, but they are not going to rely on it as much as XV will. Now, another thing, the Dragoner of XV, I think against a 5 Spellbreaker comp, it will actually prove to be very efficient, because a very strong point on Dragon Hunter is when the enemy is pushing into you, right? They're pushing into your traps, so they have to cross over them, and so they're going to take damage in doing so. And that's really where Dragon Hunter shines. So I think this could actually be very strong against what Beam is trying to put up against XV here.
We are shortly underway, actually, with this GVG, the first EU final game here. And again, one of these teams makes it, one of these teams goes to the losers bracket. And then right after this game is IQ versus Inc. And the winner of that game will advance to fight the loser of this game. And of course, one of those teams will be eliminated. And finally, the winner of that final losers bracket will advance to come back and try and win or possibly dominate a EU final match. So he got it. Yeah, he messaged I believe he messaged Garfield.
Yeah, he's got it.
Otherwise, how would he have gotten in?
Kelly, yes, there is a 3 bubble limit, so Beam can run 5 Spellbreakers, but they are allowed to bring only 3 bubbles. And this is a rule that we put in for balance reasons, because at some point, if you start stacking Spellbreakers in GVG, it starts to actually get really overpowered, where you can chain multiple bubbles into one another. But here we go. Round number 1 is starting, and we have a bit of a stealth problem for XV as they failed their blast maybe a little bit, but seems like they will be okay for time. Actually, reveals coming out, and Beam will go for the engage here, maybe targeting one of the backside
Renegade
here, one
actually
of the
getting
scrappers.
targeted and managed to get him out over there. And Beam a little bit fighting too aggressively. And of course, XP with a very balanced comp, able to pick them
Chrono.
up here. And the Chronomancer going down here. And the bubble coming out here. And looks like they keep that focus on the Chronomancer. The pressure is there. The cleave is too strong. And I believe they might actually be able to cleave that out. And yes, they do. And now XV is already taking advantage in this first round.
A bubble coming out. Let's see if we can see the control of Beam coming through. Of course, down a player doesn't mean that they are out of the round yet, because they have so much to see and they can catch up players if XV is not careful.
The
now.
Scourge,
The Scourge is finished
killed,
off.
actually. Not even a chance. That cleave coming out too strong here. And now it's 1-for-1.
XV needs to keep the pressure because, oh, huge bomb actually finding 3 players of Beam into the downstate. 2 of them finished off. That's a Chronomancer and a Spellbreaker finished off on the side of Beam. Beam now very much so down in this round, losing 3 players against 1.
Yeah,
It's going to be very hard for them to come back here. Of course, their comp is very, very reliant on maintaining some form of control, and if you start dropping players, you will start losing that control.
They call it, and the first match round goes towards XV here. Just too much aggression out of Beam, but not able to continue that, pressure. And XV actually with a more balanced comp might actually be helping them here. That comp is actually maybe helping XV on the fact that it's just simply, would you say it's more sustainable, really, right?
I think so, yes. XV composition, of course, has access to the Scourge barriers, which helps a lot with sustaining people. Otherwise, other than that, I think also XV might be running another support Spellbreaker instead of full DPS Spellbreaker, so a little bit more sustain on the side of XV, but honestly, it should be more or less the same.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, there are substitutes allowed for these games, so I'd be really looking over Beam if they do any substitutions in this game, or if they even decide to continue with this full comp and then maybe do a substitution for the next game that they advance towards. So well, it'll be interesting to look at Beam throughout the night here, because they are more or less running a very, very custom comp here. I mean, and it's definitely kind of hurting them, you could say. I mean, you noticed how XV is actually able to sustain more. It feels like while Beam has to be very much pushing the game and the pace of the round, you feel like XV is maybe not as in danger as Beam would have to be, right? Because like you said, it relies on them having to keep their players up and get a kill or two to kind of really get going, whereas XV didn't seem to be too much in the struggle there, maintaining their pace really, and finally getting a good spike that manages to pick up multiple Beam players.
I mean, the composition of Beam basically requires of them that they keep pushing 24/7, right? They need to stay on the aggressive and try to start controlling the enemy players, otherwise they start taking too much damage for them to sustain. And that control is purely derived from these Spellbreakers going in there, applying interrupts, CCs, dazes, stuns, immobilizes. If the train ever stops, XP will have the time to start single target focusing enemy players down, and that's when Beam will start running into trouble.
And here we go, the next
so
round
as long as
is
Beam
underway.
can keep the train going, they'll be okay.
Yeah, and as we go that, we are now in the round, and XV actually making their way towards Beam here. They know where they're at right now. The reveal already came out here, and now both guilds going to get in head-to-head right now, and XV already kind of finding somewhat of a groove here, and you see a lot of the players very confident in attacking and harassing a lot of the Beam players. They firebrand from Beam, almost getting focused, and now the Scrapper in the middle of the bubble actually able to quickly get out of there, but the firebrand now picked off and will be finished up here, and XV is already up on this advantage.
Look at the kite also from XV. Actually, XV losing the Tempest on the backside, so the 1-for-1 exchange with already another Beam player down, finished off. These kills are coming through so fast, it's instantly cleaved out before we can even see the downstate. XV really on top of the cleave so far. Now Beam actually getting in there, putting some nice control on top of XV, but it's not enough to get any kills going, and XV is now regrouped properly and kiting out the damage now. We see a counter engage happening, and actually the Spellbreaker here is getting a little bit low. Might see a bit of focus coming in here towards him, but no, he goes in and tries to find more CC.
And
Chronomancer does go down on the side.
The Chronomancer, and again, XV even though I feel like there's an overextension, but they're able to quickly keep up their players and not very too much pressure focused here that's going on here. And they are managing to keep up the pressure here. Another player did go down, I believe.
That was a scrapper for XV, so another XV player now finished off. It's 2 for 2 in kills so far, so actually pretty even still. If Beam could get in there and get the control on top of XV, and actually another kill, 2 kills actually in favor for Beam. Now one more bubble. They saved the bubble for these kills
and multiple
here.
Downs. That bubble actually doing really well for them. Can they cleave out these 2 downs here? And it looks like they will be able to. They're very split up from the main group, and XV has to call it already.
Look at the aggression of Beam. Ultimately translating into 2 kills. One of them was the leader of XV dying inside the bubble of Beam.
Beam actually
very
able
nice
to stay in this game here, and actually very clean bubble. Like you said, they needed that spike and they needed that control, as you said, because the moment they can't keep up their pressure, they're more or less, as you said, more sitting targets, right? Because XV has a better sustain than they do. But that bubble actually very well timed, catching 2 players, one of them being the leader, and enough to actually turn the tide where they have to call it.
It all comes down to how much control can Beam put on top of XV. And in this round we saw that for a very long time, XV really struggled with the CCs that came out of Beam. Not really managing to find really a foothold. They were regrouping basically for 50% of the time, and that's exactly what Beam tries to achieve. And at some point, XV will start running out of sustain, or they will start getting CC'd and just cleaved out into downstates, and that's how Beam tries to snowball these rounds. It's 1-1 now. Beam's composition seems to be paying off, at least so far.
As we get ready for the 3rd round here underway, XV and Beam. I mean, again, this is a very important game to win, but it also matters who wins the global final qualifier, because that is where you actually advance. So whichever team wins this, it would be great. But if they don't win the next game in their actual qualifier match, that will be a shame for them. And I feel like they know this, right? This is one game. There's another game, right? So to the victor here of whichever guild emerges as the winner in this one, they realize it's not over yet. There could be a comeback. Of course, it does allow them to rest up a little bit, maybe go over strategy. We'll see how that happens.
Baratheon's basically asking, why not Berserkers instead of those 2 additional Spellbreakers? The advantage, I think, why they want to run Spellbreakers here is that Spellbreakers have access to full counter, which is a very good defensive skill, right? Makes you invulnerable, gives you some stability, but it also dazes. So it just adds more CC. And they're trying to CC XV as much as possible, right? They're trying to control them, interrupt the heals, interrupt the sustain, and try to crack the defensive ball that XV is trying to run. Also, they're not running Scourges, so they will be lacking strips if they don't run the break enchantments. Okay, here we go. Round number 3. It's 1-1 so far. Let's see who can take this round and take an advantage into the GVG.
History is mine.
XV and Beam catching each other there, and already the exchange coming out here, and the Chronomancer almost getting downed over there in that exchange. The XV player needs to be careful here. I believe that is their Renegade. Ooh, that could have been a big kill for them going in here early. And then the Beam Spellbreak, one of them going down. Of course, now the Chronomancer targeted here, and XV trying to get multiple kills here. They managed to actually pull that Chronomancer. They are not letting that player get away here. XV actually able to keep it going. Bubble comes out from Beam and actually does kind of deter the momentum here. So XV wasn't able to continue that pressure. But now, as I say that, the pressure's turned around as their Scourge now finds themselves on the other end of this attack right now. Now Beam's turn to counter and push on this. Very spread out here, and the Scourge might get cleaved out here, and it looks like they are able to save it. So XV still in the game here. You got to be careful as their Daredevil goes down. That's a very easy class to cleave, and oh, the Daredevil actually getting cleaved up here. Of course, it's not over yet here, but XV already down a player.
Beam definitely with a very strong pressure overhand so far in the round. Of course, the teeth not being cleaved out means XP has less damage available to them, but they will still be able to find the single target focus if Beam lets up a little bit. Another Scourge got finished off from XV's side though, so Beam now with a 2-player advantage here. Leading into the GVG so far. If they can convert this round, and XP needs to actually be careful, this Gravity Well finds multiple players here. Not a lot of damage going on top of it, but now the bubble just keeps the strip and control pressure on top of
And the
XP.
bubble
They
downing
really cannot
multiple
disengage.
players here, of course, losing a almost losing another player here. It looks like they are able to get a Firebrand back up, but the bubble actually finding its target on the XV players. Looks like they will call it though. Actually, the Firebrand.
Look at that, the 5 Spellbreaker composition with the 2 Chronomancers is paying off. Just the sheer amount of CC that Beam is able to put out is absolutely insane. XP never has the chance to regroup because their players just get knocked all over the arena.
It's funny that you say that because earlier in the round, XV had a lot of good pulls on some of Beam's players, just weren't able to actually get those downs in their favor. And Beam then returning that favor back to them, and but you know, confirming the kills on their end instead.
A very tough situation now actually for XV. They need to find some solution for the problems they're having with the CC that Beam is putting out.
You
Not
feel like
necessarily
it's
finding
necessary for
really,
Beam to maybe target like the DPS heavy classes or the heal classes of XV, because Beam is obviously, they have a lot of CC under their control and can dish out a little bit more than XV can. Do you think it's wise for them to maybe try and take out the sustain classes, allowing basically more downs for them, you know, and just focus later on the DPS?
Well, I think what they're doing is they're not necessarily even trying to target single targets that much, right? It's more like they are stripping and CCing XV a lot. And at some points, targets will present themselves, right? Some people will get stuck here and there in a line or in a CC or in an immobilize, and they will get split off, and there will not be an instant stunbreak or cleanse available for them to get them out anymore. And so then they will say, okay, this target is behind, he has no stun breaks, he's getting CC'd a lot, let's go for him, right? And that can be any class, but usually that will be a DPS class because they are a little bit more squishy and have less defensive utilities available to them. So that's why you generally will see that the DPS classes of XP will be targeted first. But that is, I think, definitely if a matter of just a lot of pressure being applied to XP, and then the targets will present themselves rather than they'll put a marker on someone and just strip that guy down until he finally dies, right? It's a bit of a different approach.
Definitely. Here we go, almost on the way here. I mean, again, it's gonna be a tough night for both of these guilds. But yeah, again, they're both very confident in their strategy. I mean, these two guilds are guilds that can change their game more or less in the middle of this matchup, right? If they feel it's not performing at the level they want to. Of course, you have to give it up to, I feel like you have to kind of give it up to Beam, actually. I feel like in this tournament, they've experimented a lot. We've seen different comps in this tournament from Beam. So, you know, does seem like the guild that is more willing to take risks with how they play a certain match.
Really very creative approach to GVG. I think this is a very unique comp for them to be running. None of the other guilds really have tried this so far, so props to Beam for that.
Now they'll feel
Run number 4 is coming out, Beam with a 2-1 lead, but by no means that means that this GVG is over, because XV can still make it back to an equal score if they win this next round.
Yes, they can. And now the real, well, actually, Beam actually choosing maybe to stealth, maybe. We'll see XV turning back here. Looks like both guilds still trying to take their time, you know, wondering if one of them will actually stealth up again before they go in here. And XV kind of caught here in a big small CC here. And now it looks like Beam going to advance and kind of charge in on that back line here. managing to draw one of the players, the Daredevil, which is a very squishy class, and XV actually having to put up a bubble just to keep that player alive and retaliate on their side now. Now Beam going for another push towards their players, and might be able to catch another player here. The bubble comes out, the Renegade able to come out of here, and bubbles actually catch Beam off guard. They're able to kite away from it. And now, again, waiting as Beam is being more of the aggressor here. And now they're pushing in. They got to be careful, though. That overextension could cost them. XV has sustained this very well. As I say that, though, a push comes up here and actually almost downs a couple of their players.
XP Firebrand was in downside for a little bit, but they get rest up again. Still a lot of pressure going down to him, and actually he's caught a little bit into a spike. But actually, the Spellbreaker of Beam is now down and got banished. Let's see if he can get rest up. He does get rest up after the banish, but still in a little bit of a difficult spot as he does get pulled back in. Does make it out in the end, and is healed up now. Beam pushing in aggressively, trying to find the single target. Actually, Gravity Well going down on 2 players here. Still getting caught here. Finally, the Stun Brace comes through, but a lot of damage was landed.
Spellbreaker finally dies to the illusion here, so the Spellbreaker is already gone from Beam, so they're already down a player.
That's actually massive for XV. There will be much less control going down on them now. They might have a very good shot at winning this round. They need to get out of this Gravity Wells, though. Looks like they are able to disengage quite cleanly. Beam still trying to get in. Keep the pressure. There's the next bubble going down for them and actually finding the kill on one of their players. He does get rest up. Was the Scrapper that was in the downside. Easy rest for them now. Another bubble going down here. This should be the second round of bubbles. Actually a huge pull finding multiple players of Beam. They do manage to get it out, but there's a lot of pressure going down now on Beam.
Now the focus will maybe shift here, and actually both guilds having to try and stop each other's momentum here, and now they focus up here on another player. That the Firebrand getting cleaved out of Beam here, and as I say that, on the other end, the Scrapper from XV might get cleaved out. Very hard cleave here, and XV actually pulling through to actually hard res their Scrapper here. They're still in the game here. Of course, the loss on Beam, losing the Firebrand now, it's not going to look good for them. They're already low on the sustain.
Beam is
Looks
cracking.
like they might have to call this early here, as the next target coming up to be the Spellbreaker from Beam, and they're not letting him breathe right now. XV's trying to do all they can to bring down the next player. And
2 kills,
like,
2 downs.
Ooh,
2 downs for XV, but they did get rest up by the illusion, so they will be fine for the time being. But they need to be careful. Actually, finishing the kill here will be huge for them, because that will cancel out the illusion. Now, do not manage to quite find the kill there, but I think they might be able to finish another one here. But getting the rallies here will be huge for them. Spellbreaker here is in downside, does get rest up, and now Beam is actually having multiple downsides here. Just a little bit too much pressure on them. Cannot mention anymore after losing multiple players. The pressure advantage was too big for XP. They will equalize the score now.
Yeah, again, I think that push really closed up on them. And XP actually did not give Beam a chance to kind of, regroup at that point. As soon as they had multiple downs, XP got their players back up. Beam just couldn't continue that pressure, and then XV not allowing their own players to maintain. And I think too many Spellbreakers going down did not help them, of course, being pretty much the main form of their offense here. So Beam now having to fight with a tied score next. It's 2-2.
The res actually on that XV Scrapper was huge. They XV had to hand res them because they were all out of revive cooldowns. Actually managing that against the composition of Beam must have meant that they were very confident in getting that. Must have meant that they felt they had the pressure advantage, and going for a very risky hand res, but actually managing to land it meant that they managed to keep their advantage into the round. Finally got the win in the end. It's extra risky to hand res against a composition like Beam because they can punish you so hard. If they have a bubble available, or even if they have just a bunch of banished enchantments and a gravity available, they can disrupt that so hard. You can get caught in a spike with multiple players, and at that point, if you get immobilized, seed, and cleaved out, there is no way back for you, and you can definitely lose a round based on that. But they must have calculated that Beam didn't have the resources to punish it, and so they managed to get the hand rest in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, that Scrapper, by the way, was moments away from being killed. Like, it got under to 10%, so it could have been a good game changer for Beam trying to get back in. Unfortunately, unable to continue that kill. It could have been a good momentum swing. Again, I think losing that many Spellbreakers, given that that's their main offense, does not help them towards the end of the matchup, right? Towards the end of the round, your main, focal point of this comp that you're running is getting picked out one by one. I think XV realizing that and punishing Beam by trying to make sure they are killing their key players. I don't know if that is proper focusing, but it seems that multiple of their players overextended and Beam saw that and made sure to quickly punish them.
I have to say though, XV not looking very confident actually in this match. Especially the way they used their bubbles. Their first bubbles was just extremely defensive, and it seems like they're not sure how to deal with Beam's composition at the moment. They're very scared of the Beam engage, and rightfully so, because it is very strong if they land their CC and can actually chain it onto players. So XV needs to, I think if anything, be aware that they still need to focus on maximizing the efficiency of their builds, making sure that their bubbles land in the right spots. Here we go, round number 5, starting it's 2-2 so far in this GVG.
Yeah, I mean, XV's first round was a little bit more confident. They were able to sustain more. It looks like Beam has shaken up a bit of that, of course, as the next rounds are getting very, very, very
Cancelled actually.
Yeah, very easy. And looks like they're gonna restart actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like actually XV was the one who cancelled a round, so most likely DC on their end.
Ooh, we do not want any DCs towards the end of this match. This is a great match. We'll see. All right, let's start a giveaway, chat. All right. Exclamation point rigged for 50 gold on the line. And then after this, we'll give away one of the 2,000 gem codes. We have 2,000 gem codes to give away. And we have a legendary Twilight weapon that could be yours. Make sure you follow the stream to actually join the giveaway. And of course, multiple 50 gold giveaways will be given away on today's stream. Anyway, exclamation point rigged, 50 gold. Make sure you follow. We'll close this giveaway in roughly about 4 to 5 minutes from now. So, if you don't enter, you don't enter. If those 4 or 5 minutes happen to lie within the round, then I'll close it within the next round. I'll give you your warning by then. I believe we'll be here for at least another 2 minutes before they are ready. Seems that there is a DC on their end, or maybe a substitution. We'll see. The Capricorn. Wait, what? What Capricorn? All right, they're almost done. Looks like DC from. They might be ready. We'll see.
Yeah, seems like they're just stacking up for the time being.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
No movement yet that indicates that they are actually ready for the fight to start, so just waiting a little bit. No changes in the compositions, I think, on both sides. I think the Dragon Hunter on XV side is also still in place, so they believe in the power of the Dragon Hunter there in fighting the Beam group here.
The Capricorn is pulling its harbor. Oh, nice. All right, chat. 2 more minutes. Exclamation point rigged for 50 gold. After this matchup, which should be in the next. Well, it's pretty much a long game. So after this matchup, whenever it's over, we'll give away one of those gem codes, and then we'll give away the other one with the legendary towards the end of the stream. Of course, we'll still keep up with these 50 gold giveaways. But under 2 minutes, and I'm going to close this giveaway. Ah, you have joined this giveaway.
Gotta get paid.
That's how you get paid, huh? All right, looks like they're almost ready. And there we go. All right. The giveaway will close shortly, and the winner will be drawn. Make sure you have your account ID ready when I draw your name. I believe XV's managed to get their player back in. Oh, there's fireworks going on somewhere around me. Where's fireworks?
And looks like we are ready to go. XV is getting the first Cell Blast, and so is Beam. Finally can get this round on our way after XV managed to get their squad back in order, and actually Beam messing up their stealth a little bit, I think, because they didn't necessarily reveal, but now here we go. First bubble landing, actually a very good bubble by them. XV getting caught a little bit unaware. And that's going to be 1 kill finished off for Beam already early into the round. A huge bubble for them, actually. One Beam player a little bit. It's actually the Dragon Hunter.
Long to actually, they kept staying in the bubble here, and they actually catches them. And looks like another one coming out here, and looks like able to actually get out of that one, but XV in a lot of trouble here as Beam kind of pushing them around, and now their turn to retaliate. Now as they do that bubble, their Chronomancer gets cleaved off in their very own bubble, and that's going to be unfortunate. Now already 2 kills on their end for Beam.
Yeah, XV now under a lot of pressure. I don't think there's a lot of room for them to get back into the round anymore, as they have lost 2 players already, one of them being the Dragon Hunter, the other being the Chronomancer. So they are down a lot. Actually, finding the kill here on the Spellbreaker would be huge, but it's not enough. Actually, too many revive skills still available.
Looking like they're gonna keep going to that Spellbreaker, and they do actually cleave out, like not even stopping here, and being unable to continue to keep that Spellbreaker alive here. So XV a little bit kind of making a comeback, but as I say that, their Firebrand is getting taken out here, and looks like they are going to try to res that. Very hard res on that, and the Firebrand maintains their spot here. XV in a lot of trouble here as the bubble comes out, and the other Firebrand is going to go down, and the cleave is just too strong, and Beam now going to maybe take this round as multiple players from XV keep going up here and keep going down, and another bubble comes out. I feel like that comp is really helping them here as they're able to keep playing, and now the Tempest getting taken out. That's the heal gone for XV.
Not much room for XV to get back here anymore. Another bubble landing, and that's another 4 players caught inside here. XV is gotta have to call this round here as they drop more players. Also, the leader of XV now into the downside. That's gonna be it. Beam takes this round very convincingly after 2 of the XV players actually got 1 pushed into the first bubble of Beam. That is not what you want to see as one of the guilds that made it into the finals.
Even
but
though after
it is
that,
what
I mean,
ended up happening.
Beam actually recovered very well, nicely from that.
I mean, they did manage to find a kill on that Spellbreaker, but it was not enough as eventually XV kind of collapsed.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, you know the drill. Nice. Is that rigged a little bit? The guy who's like literally in charge of our betting casino just won. Easy, congratulations, Expandus. Yeah, I think that comp actually helping. You see that one of the moments where the comp actually helps Beam here. Because like you said, once they have the aggression going on, it's very hard once, you know, 1 bubble, 2 bubble, 3 bubble, 4, but like you can kite 1, 2, 3, but as soon as you have multiple ones, and then even seeing how XV retaliates with their own more of a defensive bubble, their Chronomancer still goes down in that bubble, and the pressure is just so much from Beam that able to quickly get that kill on the XV Chronomancer and maintaining that pressure and really not giving them any room to, kind of do anything on that one. So definitely a very, very one-sided round towards Beam here. XV kind of having to just respond towards their attacks. And the push from Beam just too strong over there. The CCs, the pulls, very much in favor of Beam. And you start to see where one of the few times this comp really does help out. And again, this is because they are more willing to experiment. This is one of the few guilds that has actually experimented a lot for this tournament. And, in general, it's been proving very well for them.
I mean, I think all the arguments about composition and etc., they don't really apply if your players start going down on the first engage, right? Like, that's not a matter of composition. That's just a matter of not dodging or being a little bit too aggressive or overextended in your movement. Oh dear. Okay.
Oh dear, what happened? What do you mean?
I need to get into some admin things, so give me a second.
Admin things? Oh no.
Yeah, no, the other match, the losers final, they need admins or they need matchup staff to start their GVG. So
IQ and Ink has actually already been concluded, right?
no, they are about to start.
About to start. Okay. Yeah, I mean they're supposed to start now. Looks like well, this game's almost underway again here in the next round up for this game. I see a lot of beams, a lot of XVs. Quite like honestly, this really has been such a close game here for this tournament. And as you see the next round going through, a very mixed reaction here. Both players, both teams have a lot of supporters. And the best game right now in the tournament is underway as the players advance towards one another, and Beam going very much aggressive here on their push and trying to make sure XV has no chance to even breathe right now. And Beam with the get-go trying to focus up here, trying not overextend, of course, as XV can keep up the sustain. If they do manage to keep up their sustain, they can help themselves here. XV now pushing towards Beam on their end and trying to target some players here. Beam with the next bubble coming out, and their Spellbreaker going down in their very own bubble here, and actually able to cleave, get that Spellbreaker back up. So Beam still up here. XV really desperate here to try and cleave out the main comp, and looks like that Spellbreaker is gonna go down, and multiple players here being focused over from XV.
Beam completely collapsing after kind of wasting their engage here. Actually, XV got out of that engage of Beam very nicely. Beam using 2 bubbles there, but not finding any kills at all. Means that XV kind of had free reign in the rest of the round. And I think XV's composition is actually much better suited at maintaining a consistent level of pressure. If you can switch around a little bit between melee and kiting. And so it was Beam who finally collapsed after losing out on cooldowns in the end.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like Beam actually trying to give as much of pressure, and again, that overextension kind of costing them up here. And as you said, like one is very reliant on heavy burst damage and a lot of CC to get as many kills, and one more or less trying to sustain and keep themselves up while also targeting, single target focus, landing a spike. So it's very opposite builds right now, and of course this. As we saw the last round, Beam, one of the rounds that shows you a dominant fashion on how this build can be played. This round more or less shows you how the sustain could actually help you, because an overextension on a very bursty build could cost you, right? And it's looking like we're seeing both ends of that in this matchup right now. All right, I'm gonna actually open up another giveaway. We gotta get more giveaways here. Confirm, expand us as the winner who thanked his academy. And I don't even know what academy he's talking about, but Exclamation Rig for 50 gold on the line. Another 5 minutes for this giveaway. Again, I'm gonna try and keep them 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I mean, like, you know, as soon as I see it go over 5 minutes, and if I'm in the middle of the round, I will close it after that round. But yeah, 5 minutes, chat. All right, Exclamation Rig for 50 gold. After this matchup, we will give away the first 2000 gem code. And here we are underway. Round number 7 in a very, very close matchup here. XV versus Beam. Only one can survive and head towards the global final qualifier later tonight. We'll see the other team, or possibly another team, meet them even at the end stage right here. And now they're both clashing up here. And nothing coming out of those bubbles here. XV actually going for an extension here and trying to get more out of this. Beam might be able to punish them on his overextension. XV very well kiting that here. But of course, few players left out a little bit and could have been cleaved up here by Beam. And as I say that, ooh, the Firebrand from Beam. And you have to imagine, that is a full kill over there. And I believe that was actually the leader of Beam, was it not?
That was the leader of Beam indeed, and he got caught a little bit in the gravel of XV and got finished off very efficiently. So well done by XV finding that kill now. Actually, also the Tempest going down to Illusion in the end, and he does get finished off on the backside. The Scrapper does go down. So that's the Scrapper down for XV, but XV still with a player advantage here. They should have a very solid position in this GVG so far. Now, actually finding the CC and multiple kills here. And Beam is completely crashing
and
on the attack of XV
down here. And looks like XV gonna keep the charge here as they take another kill possibly on this Renegade here. And they are going to call it there. But not much for Beam to do there. And XV winning this round in quick fashion, just like the last round. And it could be possibly match point here for XV.
Match point for XV now after Beam had a very strong opening actually in the GVG. It was now XV who took 2 rounds in a row, and they are now the ones who are on match point. And I think if anything, XV found a strategy where they kind of wait for Beam to make their first move, and they kind of save their cooldowns for the second engage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like from what we've seen, the rounds where Beam won though, it did help them. It did like benefit them when they were more or less pushing as they go. So I feel like though XV is, rather than kind of retaliate right away, like you said, maybe allow them to kind of tire their first push and then kind of just get back on it. So for Beam here now, like for this next round, right, given that you play this comp anyway, what do you think would be better? Allow XV to kind of lead the charge, or do you think they still need to play that aggressive game and, you know, kind of not give XV a chance to breathe like in the rounds that they did win against them?
I mean, the problem is, for me, it's very hard for me to estimate this composition that Beam is running because I've never actually played with it or against it. So there's actually a lack of knowledge on my part. But from my understanding of how it should work is that they have to be the aggressors all the time, or they will start losing because they have no real form of range pressure or a range targeting, right? Like XV has, for instance, with Scourges, and to a certain extent also Dragon Hunters with the Sword of Justice. So the more XV can stay in range and just kind of pressure them with random damage, the more they get an advantage out of their composition. So as long as Beam is not staying on top of XV, they will start losing out on DPS.
Well, almost round. It's match point here. You know, Beam could tie it up, but we'll see. Could this be a 4-4? If XV wins this, I mean, they guarantee their win into the global final qualifier game. And of course, it's not this game also that just matters. It's really that final game that will be played later in the night. And that will tell us who actually advances. So, hey, if XV wins this but loses that one to whichever game, whichever team that meets them, it, you know, kind of push away all that momentum. But it does make their life a little bit more easier. The fact that they can, of course, wait for the other games to play out, you know, kind of go take a break, go over some strategy. Of course, as I say this, Beam could tie it up and then maybe win this match. So we're not over yet. I mean, it could go either way, right? Of course, Beam with a disadvantage having to win 2 games now, 2 rounds actually to tie up this and win this. All right, Expedition Sport Rig, guys, 50 gold on the line. Giveaway is closing soon. Giveaway will close soon. Give you guys less than a minute. I'll give you guys actually 30 seconds left to enter if you don't enter in the next 30 seconds. Now, it looks like, again, a lot of people chanting for Beam, a lot of people chanting for XV. There's a very, very even matchup here. Both guilds wanting to represent the EU scene. And as Garfield said, really, a lot of these guilds in these regional finals really do represent EU. This is the top of the top competing right now. So to cheer the guild that you want at the end of the day, it all comes down to these players. They got to go and they got to let it go right now. This is where you have to give it your all. All right, this giveaway will close now. It's been a little too long. Yeah, giveaway is closing. How come every time people join late? I don't get this. XP is amazing. Yeah, we got a lot of big supporters here. Any beamers in chat? I see we got a lot of XVs. Any beamers in chat? Cesar Mac, if I even pronounce that right. You gotta put your account in the stream chat below, please. 0.52% chance of winning. Wow. What are the odds? What are the odds? Oh, look at that. The basic. Beam people watching Herco. Well, I would have to say, yeah, because I mean, he is a Beam player himself, so. Beamers, more like boomers. Oh, wow. All right, Cesar, you got to put your account ID, please. Don't know if this person's here, but if they're not here, we're going to have to re-roll. Yes, you have won. Congratulations on your win.
Alright, looks like we have a bit of an intermission. As there will be a bit of discussion between the admins and XV.
Ah, okay. I guess there's a bit of an intermission here, chat. All right. Yeah, I got your account ID. I need your account ID, Cesar. Yeah, looks like there will be an intermission. Could we maybe get some laps here in the game here? Maybe some laps around the arena? Looks like they're going to re-up on their food and everything. Don't give them your account ID. If you support MM in this coverage, toss them a sub. Well, I appreciate that, Soup. I appreciate supporting, yes. Sounds like a free round for Beam. What has XV done? I actually don't know what the... Wait, let me check actually. What is going on?
I think considering that Leggy went down in the last round, they might be discussing about that.
Tempted to go in there and listen.
That will be my guess, at least.
Yeah, I mean, the delay seems to be coming from XV's side. Not waiting for DC. Looks like the admins are discussing something with XV. So, we'll see. There's nothing being said in the admin channels. They're discussing it with the said leader. Reverse sweep. Well, chat. I mean, you have predicted, right? You've put in your predictions. So, has a player put in their account ID? Yes, you did. All right. I am going to mail you the 50 gold, and since there's a wait here, we'll do another one quickly. All right, confirm and do another one. Yeah, it seems like there's a delay from XV's side. They are discussing it with the admins, one of their leaders. So, all right, as we wait for that, you guys can enter this giveaway. I'm going to spy on this. They seem to be like streaming something, by the way. Like, are they reviewing footage? What was going on?
Yeah, they're watching the thief's point of view, I think, to see what happened.
Beam reverse sweep. Chat, do you think Beam ties it up? If you think Beam ties it up,
it's
can we
possible.
get some beams in chat? Mid-tournament footy review. Yeah, it's like the Euro and, you know, any other football game. Reviewing the footage. XV will take this. Reverse sweep, beam, reverse sweep. Pog, pog, pog. You know, honestly, I hate that this pog emote exists. Why couldn't it just be the original one? Do you like this Raptor pog emote?
The Komodo hype. It's much better than the old PogChamp.
Really?
Yes.
Chat, new PogChamp or Raptor PogChamp? I feel like that's an important question too. Pretty Boy James. Why are you called Pretty Boy James? Do you box? Old Pog is better. Raptor Pog. Alright, actually, it looks like I guess they might be going. No, they're not still. It's a snake? Is it a snake or raptor? I'll say it says so much about how I care about that emote. I wish the old one was whatever. You know what? Whatever. You know what? It could have been a horse. You know why? It looked like a horse, the old one. If if you were to say convert it into an animal, it should have been a horse.
A horse? Why a horse?
I don't know. Like just the face looked like a horse when he did it.
Horse champ.
Doesn't look like a snake. It looked like a horse. You know. I believe they might be starting soon. Or not yet. Not yet. I keep saying that. They're not starting soon. Or a donkey. Yeah, can you imagine the crazy sound it makes him? I guess, or a donkey. Oh, look at that. A lot of people chanting for their team. Ooh, a lot of pride on the line here. You know. XV, bring home the bacon. Is it coming home or is it not? Someone mod banned Pre-Boy James. Yeah, I mean, it is passion. Very passionate towards their team, you know. A lot of passion for these GVG. And again, one of many tournaments down the line. And yeah, we don't want to do this as long as it was this time. Again, it was not convenient, but it was the only choice given that the tournament, you know, we had to do it before June. So, or before July, basically. And so the only way realistically was in June because it didn't get announced until late April, May. So, you know, next time, the tournament I had in mind would be 4 or 5 qualifier tournaments. And again, the main tournament, the global tournament, would take place only in a matter of a week or 2 at most. That was my original idea. But it was not going to be possible. And I was like, you know what? We still need a tournament anyway. So, unless I move, I'll be kicked out in 60 seconds. All right, chat. Exclamation point rigged for 50 gold on the line. Giveaway is closing in 1 minute. Exclamation point rigged for 50 gold on the line. Make sure you follow the stream. And we will be giving away a 2,000 gem code after this matchup concludes. And then, of course, right after that, we head towards more matches, more 50 gold. And then at the end of the stream, we are giving away a legendary Twilight and another 2,000 gem code. And for June 27th, this Sunday, the global finals, the team that faces RQM in the global finals, we are also going to give away another legendary, possibly 2 legendaries, 2 2,000 gem codes, and a Path of Fire copy. I may not be a partner, but yeah, I do give out more, you know, more partner like perks and all that good stuff. So, any footage reviewers in chat? Well, yeah, I mean, they're reviewing some sort of footage. All right, giveaway is about to close. Last chance to enter. It is about to close. Oh, yo. Dapper Dude of Destiny gifting 20 tier 1 gifted subs. Yo, I have to read a lot of subs now. Hey, Dapper, thank you so much for supporting the stream. I appreciate that. 20 tier 1 legendary gems. How many people just got gifted subs? That is a lot of gifted subs. I appreciate it. Toby, I have to read them all actually now. And that's going to be difficult to keep up with the chat. All right. Toby, Wooly, Big Woody, Aaron, June D, Durzan. I don't know a lot of these names. Zerofun.
Looks like they are done reviewing
Ochro,
footage.
D Dervin, Isibi, Tommy, Dominus Rect, It's Syntax, Bishop, Azrael, Wrecking Havoc, Soul, Only One Egg. Well, yeah. Cruelly, and that is all. Yes. Congratulations on your gifted subs. And Doomsy gifting a tier 1 sub to Lenny. Hey, I appreciate all you people. I mean, you gotta give a clap to Dapper Dude here and Doomsy for gifting these subs. I appreciate that a lot. A lot of support. Much appreciated. You love to see it. More tier 1, more legendary gem winners possibly. All right, looks like we are going to start soon. Mick Godley, congratulations on your win. You gotta put your account in the stream chat below. Please thank Dapper Dude and Doomsy for these gifted subs. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much for the support. As always, supporting the stream. A lot of legendary gems here. That guy's a loser. Don't give it to that guy. What? Wait, why?
Okay, we have the official ruling about the investigation and whether there was any leader focus or not in the round, and the conclusion was there was no leader focus in the round, so the win goes to XV. It is 4-3.
There we go. All right,
the GG goes on.
Almost ready. Anyone but him? Wait. I feel like I know who this person is. Wait. Do I know who this is? I feel like I know that account ID. Why do I know that account ID? There is actually a reason why I know this. I am Viridian. Hello, Gilliman. Please send extra gold. That's why I know this account ID. That would be a very good reason. Yes, hello. Alright, congratulations on your 50 gold win. I was like, well, I know this account ID. Like, I've definitely talked to this person before. Alright, there you go. Congratulations on your win. Yeah, I mean, pretty sure. Oh, please send the extra gold. Thank you, MM. Love you. Yeah, I love you too. Alright, confirm that winner. Explicit gifting a tier 1 sub to JC Nevo. Thanks so much for the tier 1 gifted sub. By the way, I'm sorry if I mispronounce any of your names. Like, I'm not the best person to pronounce names. I really am not, like, good at that.
Here we go. Potentially the final round in the winners finals is now starting.
There we go.
We have XV
go
against
towards the
Beam.
north side, and we'll see which team pushes the aggressor. I mean, for XV, they could end this quickly if they can, allow Beam to overextend, and they might be able to succeed and making this matchup end in this specific round for Beam. A lot on the line here. As we go for that, they are going straight for the kill right here with a huge target on the Firebrand, and Beam having to quickly pull out a defensive bubble on that, and another one coming out very early on, and XV is now very split up here because of that. And we might be able to see some targets from Beam as they continue to cleave and come out with more bubbles to pressure out the XV players here, costing them that maybe too eager to go, and the kills coming through. The Chronomancer down here, and XV is already now at a disadvantage. As I say that though, they're already coming back with their own kill, trying to get that Chronomancer down, and it looks like they're not going to stop there.
Yeah, now actually a bit of split on the side of XV. The Chronomancer barely got finished up, but does make it out alive. The gets the Signet res up now. XV now having to res their own player on the backside of the fight, and the match goes on. XV down a player now, but doesn't mean that this fight is over yet, as they find more kills here now. Another kill on top of the leader of Beam, and he is finished off. More kills going down in favor of XV. XV actually now making Beam collapse under the pressure. And I think that's going to be it. The round goes in favor of XV. XV making it to the grand finals from the winners bracket.
Ending the game in quick fashion with that round. Huge dominance coming out of XV. And we have potentially our winners in the grand finals. Ooh, the energy was not enough, chat, for Beam to come back. And as they probably will line up for the bow over here, they will take their bow as one of these teams heads towards the grand finals. Beam, though, still could potentially win the matchup. They are going to face the winner of the Ink and IQ matchup, and possibly make their comeback into the grand finals. So GG to XV right now, your possible winners right now, the first team to qualify into the global final qualifier match, and that will take place soon at the end of the night. Chat, it is getting a little bit heated up here for Beam, though. They have to meet the winner of the Ink and IQ match. The Germans and the Spanish are about to duke it out, or possibly already duking it out as we speak.
I can confirm that IQ and Ink are already fighting.
Probably the most, competitive matchup here, actually. There's a hype train, by the way, going on. Wow, a lot of hype train here going on. Could you please swing the pan arms? Some people are overly... I mean, like, just more passion. I mean, I love to see that passion, even though some people, I guess, like to talk about certain things. Like my what? Too much information. I don't think I need to know that. Anyway, XV has win. Congratulations to XV. They make their way towards the qualifier. It's not over yet though, chat, because they could lose the next match. Who knows? They might lose the next match. They might not. But for XV, it's not over yet. They still need to win the final match on the EU Regionals and make it. Can we get a taxi towards the other...
I am getting a taxi, yes.
The next match is Ink and IQ right now. They're actually already going at it. And Ink and IQ will face the winner of Beam. Well, the winner of Ink and IQ will fight Beam. And the winner of that match later will go back towards the global final qualifier match. So That is right now what's going to happen. That is what's on the line as we speak. So again, for Beam, it's still not over yet. They could possibly win one more match and make it back up. And if they win the final match, then that's really what matters, right? It's the final match, the qualifier match into the global finals this Sunday is what matters. Chat, though, I have said something, right? And I have mentioned we'll give away a gem code. Did we not? Spain, let's go. Yes, let's go. Trying to get a taxi into the next one. Wait, I'm with Mighty Teapot here. Why is Mighty Teapot with me? Let me know.
I got a taxi for you.
All right. Oh, you're in the group, right?
Yeah.
All right, invite
Let
me
me get
now.
you in here.
All right, chat, I'm going to give away one of the gem codes. 2,000 gem code right now is what we're going to give away. I didn't even open the giveaway. Yo, chat, wait, slow down. Slow down. I did not even open the giveaway. Oh. What? And where did you see the program say lemmings, actual lemmings? I believe it's 2-0 towards Ink, is it not?
It seems like they are winning at the moment, but I don't have confirmation yet. Yeah, it's 2-0.
All right, make sure you guys are following for upcoming giveaway. Let me activate it. I have not activated the giveaway yet, but make sure you follow the stream to actually enter. You have to enter by following the stream. Giveaways are for follow. You know, following is for free, right? Just you know, if you don't know, they are lemmings because they, you know, they are doing the code because they saw someone else did it. Yeah, I feel like that's what it comes down to, right? Yes. Yeah, again, it's always when you see other people in the chat typing it. That's why you gotta listen. You really gotta listen, guys. Streaming is not only the chat. Streaming is also the listening. And here we are, Ink versus IQ right now. And we'll give away... who's the German guild? Ink is the German guild and the Spanish guild is IQ. Do you know the proper score?
Yeah, it's 2-0.
In favor of Ink.
Yes.
Ooh, the Germans are winning right now. And IQ over here. And it is 2-0. There we go. And yeah, we've already missed, of course, a couple of games here, but it's okay. A couple of rounds. There we go. All right, chat. Knock yourselves over. 2,000 gem code giveaway has just been released, all right? Fully activated right now.
Looks like IQ is running a more or less standard composition with actually triple Scourge and maybe one Spellbreaker. So very control focused.
I think actually
Composition
choosing to
with
start off with the
also
waterfall
good single
here,
target
and
focus.
I feel like IQ here going to go away a little bit and going to lead the charge. Already the first focus. Wow, the kill on the Firebrand already in favor of Ink here, and IQ now lose one of their sustain. And as I say that, they managed to get the Scourge out of Ink, so it's 1-for-1 really early on in this round right now. Ink, of course, still pushing majority of the fight here, and they're gonna look to take out the Spellbreaker if they can, though, as IQ is able to get that Spellbreaker up quickly.
Oh, I hope that will not interfere with the match, but I think it might.
Hopefully
As
not.
we might get kicked out of Edge and Mist at any time. Round will continue as the Spellbreaker does go down again, but I think we might just get kicked out of the instance and we might have to redo the round.
Yeah, looks like we might have to redo the round. Although IQ right now is actually losing this fight as Ink is engaging all of this and look to be pushing most of the fight here. Managed to get multiple pulls here, 2 pulls. A game looks like yes, they will. Oh wow, you'll be direct. A build right now. What in the actual? What? Guys, there's a tournament going on, ain't it? This is not the time for a build.
And there we go. We have been kicked out of the instance. I'm not sure what we actually have to decide as admins because the round went on for quite a while, so it's gonna be hard to choose who wins though. So I think we might just have to redo it. I think that
We'll
will
have
be the
to
best
redo
way
it.
to
It
go.
was clear that Ink was winning it, but like we'll have to restart
Well,
our
I
game.
don't think it's that clear. IQ got some kills in there.
Yeah.
It's not so clear.
Yeah, that round has to be restarted in general. Like, what? So, no, we don't have to redo the game, just that specific round. Because the other 2 rounds are already okay.
Oh dear, we have fixed an issue that could have that could cause stowed weapons to appear out of position when the holographic dragon gloves heavy were equipped.
That
I
is
see.
what was necessary for this.
Definitely making the game unplayable. Thank you, Renet, for fixing this while we have a tournament going on.
We had a fix in the middle of a tournament because of a skin. I swear to God. What? Oh man. All right. Well, there you have it, chat. Anyway, exclamation point rigged for 2,000 gems. I don't understand why that was a necessary thing to be done now. Like in the middle of this.
I mean, the worst part is that we now have to wait for Edge the Mist to become available again.
I
This
swear
is
to
gonna
God.
take a while. We have to remake the instance, make sure that everyone's in and ready to go.
Yeah.
Uh,
I as you guys are entering for the gem code chat, I actually have to go take my blood thinners. It is almost time. I have to take my meds. No blood thinners. dies actually. Can actually die with blood clots. But yeah, I'll be back. Like a minute. We'll take my thinners and we'll continue. Exclamation point rigged for a 2,000 gem code giveaway. We're giving away 1 gem code, and then of course after that we'll have multiple 50 gold giveaways going on, and then you know, after that we're giving the giveaway chat a legendary Twilight and another gem code giveaway. Blood thinners, Monka S. Yeah, easy on the cholesterol, dude. No, actually my cholesterol is good. The blood thinners because I have a mechanical valve. I am Iron Man basically. Yeah, I gotta do my maintenance. Yeah, I gotta do maintenance. Anyway, chat, go enter the giveaway. 2,000 gems. Let's go. I'll be back. All right, Gar. I mean, we really... Do we really have a... Do we really just have an update for skins? Did we really have an update for a skin?
That's what it looks like. Edge of the Mist is open, so get in before the instance is full.
All right. Are you in the right instance, by the way, or?
No, you're not. Now you are. Yep.
All right, there we go. All right, chat. 2000 gem code giveaway. We will keep this giveaway opened up till the end of this fight. Of course, it is right now 2-0. They're going to restart that last round. It will not actually count. And yeah, this game should be ending probably about like 15-ish minutes, maybe less than that. Depends on how it goes. But assuming 3 more wins for Inc, if they do actually go a full sweep, then this game probably ends in the next 10-ish minutes. But yeah. You made my character dancing as entertainment? Well, I did not. Unfortunately, missed opportunity here.
I was hoping that we can get this match underway quickly again, because we are already a little bit behind schedule. So it would be nice if we can get started ASAP.
Yeah, kind of a lot behind schedule. So hopefully we can get this done, because after this, the winner of this game then goes to the next game, then that game, then the EU Global Final qualifier. So yeah, we still have this and 2 more games to play, and again, the last game will definitely take an hour, so there's still a lot for us here. Of course, we tried, by the way, to schedule these games between Wednesday and Thursday. The timing just didn't work out. A lot of players were missing with some of the guilds, and it just didn't allow them to schedule it. But we tried to at least schedule one of the games yesterday, but it didn't work out. I believe some of XV's guys weren't able to play, and of course I think they had subs, but they just didn't want to maybe have to use those subs if those players, their priority was they wanted their main players to play. So I love this emote. Yeah, it's the rigged emote, more or less ingrained in the stream now, as the giveaways are somehow rigged somehow. What is this? Praising Joko?
Well, it's rigged because
right
it's rigged because you keep giving things away, but somehow you keep making money still. So something's not right there. Something's got to be rigged there.
Whoa, really? I'm a philanthropist. I like to give away stuff. What's hard about being a philanthropist? I am basically a charity at this point. I give to the needy, and
Looks like we are ready for this next GVG starting right now. 2-0 in favor for the Germans.
Right
Let's
now,
see if IQ can do something about it.
And looks like IQ, one of their revealers, actually does get revealed out here. Ink actually going to make their way towards the center, and looks like they find their mark on IQ here, and already one of their players, the Scrapper, getting almost taken out and pulled in, and they managed to isolate that Scrapper and confirm the cleave over here. IQ now up on that in this round right here, and they're going to continue the pressure. Firebrand almost from IQ gets taken out here, as Ink have to turn the pressure around onto them, and now both guilds having to go and regroup a little bit. The Scourge, ooh, the burst is too strong, and a final res, but the Scourge goes down again, and that burst will cleave that out.
Good says getting banished by the Tempest Tornado form We'll confirm the kills now. No revive skills coming through for them, and Ink seems to be losing this round as more players of them go into the downstates. After losing the first player, which was the Scrapper, now the whole guild starts to collapse. Of course, being down a little bit on sustain means that you are being that much more punished by the enemy conditions, immobilize, etc. Being landed on top of you, on top of having just less heal available to you. Now Q converts this quite nicely.
It's actually a good win from them.
They are on the board.
Very well played on their end, actually, to get back in.
Q seem to be very much relying on a strategy that is pretty much entirely focused around single targeting enemy players. That seems to be the only way that they are getting downstates in these rounds that we have watched so far. So yeah, definitely a very strong strategy and thing that many guilds actually do rely on for getting their kills. IQ managing to find them in this round here.
All right, those are the points for XV going towards their winners. The victor go the spoils right now. 82. Wow, points. Going to Doomsy and 26 other people. Praise IQ, praise IQ. Ooh, a lot of IQs in chat. I mean, who? All right, chat. This is a proper German versus Spanish game, all right? So, who do you support? The Germans or the Spanish? Who do you support, right? I want to see it blow up in chat. Type your name right now. IQ or Ink? Of course, as I say that, there is a giveaway for 2,000 gems. A 2,000 gem code giveaway. All you gotta do is follow the channel and hit !rigged. We are going to draw the winner right after this game, so you only have about maybe 10ish minutes to enter. Let's go. And here we go. The next round underway. Can IQ turn this around and tie it up here? And looks like, as I say that, they managed to get revealed out here, and Ink going for the kill right now, and they stealth up just in case, but Ink already going to catch towards the end of the tail here and aren't able to get anything out of that. Of course, now both guilds really neck and neck, and immediately you see the Renegade almost slipping up here, and IQ having to go back a little bit as Ink might go for the engage, and actually IQ is the one that's going to meet them here, and looks like they get the Renegade down here, not able to confirm the kill, and looks like they're gonna have to regroup before they go in one more time again. Now Bubble comes out and kind of splits up Ink right here.
Yeah, on the backside though, once Scourge got finished off as well as the Renegade for Ink, so Ink now down 2 players. They need to find the kills here, and actually do find 2 kills here. Tempest Tornado comes out, banishing the players out, but the cleave is a bit slow. And one of the players got illusion, so Ink still down a player here, but do manage to find themselves a way back in the fight. They do lose the Scourge, another Scourge here though. They need to get that Scourge back up or they will start losing this round. And 2 more downsides, 3 more downsides for Ink. It's going to be very problematic for them if they still want to win this round, and it's not going to be enough for them, as IQ will take this round again.
They tie it up now. The Spanish team is not over yet. They are still well underway, and now it's tied. I mean, it was 2-0 and now it's tied 2-2.
You might as well call them the Spanish Inquisition for the pain that they are bringing to Ink right now, winning 2 rounds in a row.
Yes, nobody ever expects the Spanish Inquisition, and Ink did not expect them these 2 rounds. Now tying it up, it's 2-2. Now the pressure is on as Ink now has to respond to that. They could make their way to the next match. One of these teams gets eliminated for the other. A chance at redemption, a chance at making it back to the global final qualifier. will happen. One of these teams faces Beam next. So the round is not over yet. The matches are not over yet. There's a lot more work to be done.
IQ definitely looking more solid now. Their kills are coming through more fluently, and especially actually their engage is what they're getting a lot of advantage from. Finding multiple times in a row now, either the Renegades or the Scrappers of Ink. Seems like IQ really is on top of the engage strategies at the moment.
All right, well, let's go. We're almost underway here for the next round. It's round, I mean, it's round number 5 now. And, you know, you could have thought maybe Ink would have taken it all the way full sweep, but no, IQ are not out yet. Not just yet right now. Both guilds are, you know, fighting towards the last breath right now. They both know the last keyboard, the last button, every single thing is going to be done to make sure one of these guilds advances. One will lose. So who's gonna press their, you know, their last W? Who's going to click the most skills? Who's going to get the most sustain, the most kills, the most focus? Who will actually take it? Reverse sweep incoming. Could IQ actually turn this around and win 5-2? We'll see.
I think IQ is a very strong guild, so I mean, personally, I would rate them in terms of power level a bit higher than Ink. But of course, it all depends on how you actually play out the match. And that is what matters. Ink choosing for another defensive opening here, staying back in the arena. Not allowing any reveals to come through, and IQ now being revealed, also Ink should be out of stealth very soon. Here you go, the cross happens, no bubbles being dropped yet. Both sides opting for a safe engage, and now the first bubble is being dropped from Ink, the first bubble also from IQ. It's coming now, aggressive second bubble, but there's no CC on it.
They weren't able to do much there on those 2 kills. They could have maybe converted those, but the timing of that bubble didn't allow them to go there. And now as we talk about these, Scourge quickly gets cleaved out here, and it's going to be a very small revival here, but the pull is too strong, and now the Scourge getting killed off immediately, and multiple downs here from Ink. They're actually collapsing right now.
Firebrand also got caught in the pool and caught up in the damage, and he also died on it. That's going to be a problem because one part is going to be lacking stability now. And you see them also already cracking a little bit. The Chronomaster goes down on the side of IQ, but it's an easy res as these signals come through now. Ink is pushing aggressively, trying to find any kills they can. They need to find some kills or they're going to be falling behind very quickly. And there is a Scourge. They cannot convert it as the illusion of life comes through, and the heals are enough to keep the Scourge alive. As the secondary focus is not enough to finish him off now. 2 more kills being landed on the side of Ink. That's a Soul Beast, I think, and another Scourge. And that's going to be it. Round number 5 goes in favor of IQ winning their 3rd round in the GVG.
And IQ is turning this around right now. Ink losing their footing here in this matchup. Multiple players getting caught right there. And they had a chance actually with those 2 IQ players early on. Of course, as they had a bubble in the same spot, IQ putting up another bubble. You could kind of feel like that bubble actually saved IQ over there, as they weren't able to, you know, Ink was not able to kind of take advantage of those 2 pulls over there. Could have actually went well for them.
Yeah, it was a bit hard to land the CC in that position. It was a bit in range, and there's a limited amount of range CC available to you. You have, of course, these Scrapper Hammer 5s in your Guardian lines, and your Mesmer Focal pools if you have them available, but outside of that, there's not really a lot available to you. So, bubble in range is very risky if you don't have those CC options available to you. Most of the time, it's just going to be a bit wasted. You have to kind of get in there to make use or optimal use of your bubbles, really. In this case, Ink kind of whiffing that second bubble meant that IQ had a very, very solid secondary engage. Finding the kill on the Scourge early on, as well as the Firebrand.
Looks to be another round to go underway here. And now IQ have turned it around. I mean, 3-2 to IQ right now when they were already down 2 rounds. And it's now them taking the fight and beating Ink right now. And possibly, I mean, if IQ keeps this up, I mean, Ink might have to change something here. It seems that both rounds here in the last 2 rounds that happened, it was them leading the charge, but then IQ able to actually take a little bit of the sustain and then dish back the damage. And then it seems that IQ is able to get the single target focus a little bit more better than how Ink has the last 2 rounds. So Ink might need to consider a different change right now. They have more or less taken the engagement first, but it is not working out for them these last 2 rounds. I can't say the same on how it's happened towards the first 2 rounds at least that were played, but from these, what we've been looking at, it's really looking like IQ's turning the game quickly.
Round number 6 is on our way, and IQ is looking to put themselves at match point.
And this could be it.
Whereas Ink is trying to equalize the score here. Now the reveals is coming on top of IQ, so Ink has actually the options of a good engage. And here we go, no bubbles being dropped yet. Again, choosing for the safe engage here. I do find that's a bit of a target here actually on the Scourge here. Scourge does get rest up by the Signet, I believe. Guardian Signet was used for that,
They're
but
not gonna
the
let
target
that
is still the
Scourge
Scourge,
go.
and
They're
he's
actually
very
trying
low.
to dish as much damage to that Scourge. IQ a little bit separated here as one of the own players goes down. That's the Firebrand. They managed to take that Firebrand quickly out, so they're out of harm's way. But as we say that, they're trying to bring this around and kind of stop the momentum. That bubble really not doing much to Ink, but more like stopping them as IQ now kind of find their footing. But as I say that, multiple other players are kind of caught up here at the back, and the Scrapper probably might be the first of these players to go down. No, the Firebrand, but getting revived here, and Ink now putting the pressure towards them. Of course, their Scourge did get taken out, so that's unfortunate. They have lost their Daredevil, so Ink needs this win right now. They need to get some kills, convert something.
They do find downstates on the side of IQ, but they don't have enough to convert them as they don't have the bandages or tornadoes available. And now actually it is IQ that are finding the downstates here. And Ink is just collapsing again. After losing 5 players, they're gonna call the round here. It's just too much for them to deal with.
There we
And
go.
it is IQ now who is at match point.
Match point. It looks like I just turned it around. It is a reverse sweep. Too much in my opinion. I'm not sure why, but I think that should be okay. I mean, I don't know. I usually have the other audio just as high because sometimes people complain that people in the Discord with me can't be heard. So unless Gar got a new mic or something.
Nope.
All right, well, we got Ink and IQ in match point for Ink, and it is a reverse sweep here. So, yeah, I mean, match point towards them and fair play. I mean, they were down 2 rounds, and now they've won every single round. They are at 4-round win streak right now. So, could this be match point indeed? Or will Ink try to tie it up? I mean, Ink has to pull through on the next, 2 rounds now just to tie it up. So we'll see. Can the Germans come back out of this, or will IQ advance to fight Beam in the next matchup? Make sure you guys enter the giveaway, by the way. Exclamation point rigged for a 2000 gem code giveaway. If you have already entered, by the way, it will not tell you that you have joined the giveaway because you've already joined the giveaway. So it's only for the people who have not joined. It will tell you that you've entered. Of course, you have to follow the stream to actually enter in the first place. So make sure you actually follow the stream. But yeah, we're going to draw the winner after this game. Of course, it could happen at the end of this round. So make sure you enter. Exclamation point rigged for a 2000 gem code giveaway. Make sure you're actually in the chat because I have to whisper you that in your Twitch DMs. All right. I got to slide in the DMs to actually whisper you the code. Make sure you're actually paying attention because I will ask you to confirm to me in the DMs as I text you, are you here? And if you don't respond in the DMs, after a minute, I will give it to the next person.
Ink on the brink of elimination here. They lose one round, it's over for them. The tournament is ended. They have to win this round. The pressure is on for the Germans. Whereas IQ is looking to bring themselves into the next round of the GVG tournament. Into the losers finals, having a shot at making it to the grand finals. It would be huge for them.
Here
Reveals
we
are coming
go.
out and IQ is revealed.
Finally,
well as
the
Ink
last
now.
game right here. And oh, IQ going full push on that. Both guilds actually trying to go full push. It looks like they managed to down a player from IQ. Of course, they got stealth though, so it's not there yet. The kill's not confirmed. And both guilds actually kind of just gauging interest here before they actually even advance again. Now they will advance. And it looks like IQ seems to be pushing more of IQ's players. Ink is pushing more of IQ's players and actually almost killing the Spellbreaker. And IQ retaliating here, managing to convert this into their end with a very well-timed bubble. The Firebrand able to get out here. And Ink having to throw one out just to make sure IQ don't get in. And they actually managed to pull multiple players from IQ. They will try to stomp maybe? No, they do not actually. IQ also trying to get
There's so many
players
downsets all over the place, but no one got finished off. Having trouble converting the kills, you know. Another Scrapper goes and does it. Does get revived again by the illusion. It's still focused, and there is the first kill of the round. Ink loses their player here. And IQ is now trying to disengage a little bit, trying to reset, get some cooldowns back before they go for the next
so
engagement.
many
Here they go.
pulls happening, and like you said, there's not many kills being converted right now. Of course, we did get one kill over there, and Ink actually going for more, but no, the Scrapper from Ink and multiple downs from Ink right here. You Renegade
Yeah,
getting
Q Scrapper does go down again though, but it's not enough as 4 players of Ink are now being cleaved out and they are being finished off. I think that's gonna be it. Ink is gonna lose his round. They got Inquisitions by the Spanish and they did not expect it. That is the end of Ink being eliminated from the tournament.
Germans will have to take their bow as they are now out. IQ reverse the sweep right here after being down 2 rounds. Come back up with a full 5-round win streak. The full sweep is here. The Spanish Inquisition has won. And this time, Ink had to expect them. And there we go, as now all guilds, both sides will heal up. And the final bow for Ink in this tournament takes place. For IQ though, their next match, the possibly a tough challenge as IQ, if they do win the next match, then have to face off XV. So a long night for IQ if they win the next match. They are up against Beam, and that match is next. The Spanish Inquisition continues. Congratulations to IQ as they advance. For Ink, it's okay because they are still down in this tournament as making it towards this position. So still hard luck for the Germans, but we hope to see them soon in many other tournaments. And IQ now prepare as a Beam takes their stand up on the stage right here. Second last game. The winner of this game advances into the winners bracket. The qualifier match will take place after the winner of this game. Who will it be? Beam or IQ? It could very well be Beam making their way back to XV and maybe possibly handing them the loss and taking the representation for EU. It could be it could be IQ making a win against Beam here, so could go both ways. Or will the winner of this matchup go against XV and lose? We'll see. The global finals are almost here. The final winner takes the EU qualifier match against XV, and we'll see who advances. We're going to close the giveaway. Exclamation point rigged for 2,000 gem code on the line. Make sure you keep a lookout on your Twitch as we draw the winner. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. Make sure you enter. I'm going to change these right here. Beam. Any beamers in chat? Oh wait, this is IQ still. What am I doing? All right, chat. Get your predictions. 2 minutes to put in your prediction. We're going to close this giveaway and now see who's going to be the winner. Congratulations to Kran. Gotta answer in the chat, please, so I can actually give you your gold. Or your code.
Ran, the god of PvP, the Tempest genius, winning some well-deserved gems.
Is Kran in the chat though? Is Kran in the chat? Gotta speak up. Kran, you got 1 minute left to answer. If you don't actually answer, I'll have to draw a different winner for the code. 1 more minute left to answer. Oh, there you go. Bruv, there you go. All right. No, it's a 2,000 gem code. What are you doing? All right, I gotta give you your code. Let me retrieve that for you. All right, copy and paste that for you. All right, where are you at again? Ran over here. All right, I like how everyone is talking quickly, so I can't actually see them. Whisper. All right, check your Twitch DMs, please. Ran, check your Twitch DMs. You got 3 streams open. Yeah, no problem. Of course, this is the only stream that will give you the best loot, so just saying. Wonder what he'll buy with those gems. I don't know. Anyway, congratulations on your gem winnings. We'll still give away 1 more, chat. Don't worry. And of course, we have a legendary giveaway still later in the night. We'll probably open the legendary giveaway probably during the last... No, actually not during the last match. We'll probably do the legendary gem and the legendary giveaway and the 2,000 gem code. We still have 1 more 2,000 gem code to give away tonight. We'll give that away at the end of the next game. Of course, we'll do another 50 gold giveaway later. Confirm that winner. So what I'll do for the the last legendary and the gem is I will most likely have those be the same giveaway. So like I'll have it open for both instead of like restarting it. I will, you know, that way it's easier. So like if you miss it, you miss it. But like I'll have that open up in the last game or towards the end of the last game, and then that way we'll close it up with that, and of course some final conversations. We'll look at the brackets and everything as they went through in the games, and then the global final winner, June 27th, this Sunday, right? One of these guilds will meet RQM on the NA side for the global finals. One match on EU, one match on NA to determine the winners. And of course, I will be giving away 2,000 gem codes there as well, and a Path of Fire copy, and a legendary winner or legendary giveaway for a winner. So a lot of big prizes being given away on the stream. All right, we're almost done here. Beam is getting ready, IQ is getting ready. This game is not over yet. Is Beam still running the same setup as do you want to talk about the comps right now between Beam and IQ, Gar?
I can quickly check, but actually IQ seems to be not completely sorted on the players that they have on the field, so I'm just going to quickly look at Beam's composition. And it's a bit hard to see, but I think they're still running the 5 Spellbreaker double Renegade composition. Because I do not see any Necros, and I see a lot of Spellbreakers. Right, so the composition that they also quite successfully ran against XP. Very heavy focus on staying on top of the enemy and seeing them to death with these Spellbreakers. And IQ in the previous fight ran a Scourge heavy setup, so with a very strong emphasis on single targeting and sustaining.
Why is they not? So I mean, ANET's not sponsoring this because I'm not an ANET partner. Like, so as even if I'm running this tournament and hosting it, I am not partner, so I don't get ANET support for it. That was actually where Teapot was supposed to come in. More or less, we brought Teapot in for the tournament so that we have a ANET partner that could help us get sponsorship, which we did not even end up getting. So unfortunate, but it's okay. I'll try to go for the next one. So this is also why I bought codes myself, because like I have to literally buy codes to give away for promoting this tournament rather than hopefully wait for ANET. I wasn't gonna wait on the codes. So ANET did not provide the codes. It's whatever. I'm also buying codes for the winners of the GVG tournament. So the winners will also receive some gem codes, and that's how it's gonna be. But I don't know. Teapot was supposed to get it from ANET, but it seems like ANET did not give it to us. Or I was told we were gonna get it, but I guess we didn't end up getting it. I don't know. So that is unfortunate. On both sides, real life and in the game, yes. Am I now partnered? You have so many viewers like constantly your guilders too. I don't know. I really don't know. Partnered or not, though, I enjoy doing these competitions. We've done fashion shows, jumping puzzle speedruns. I helped do 1 or 2 raid league streams back then. I've done a lot of support for other streamers, kind of carried their prize pools. And I still have more things, right? I've also casted Beetle races. I've done other things as well, Griffin showcase events. I do a lot, but whether or not I get the partnership, it's whatever. I'm gonna do what I do because I enjoy these events regardless, right? I love to have something for every community. This GVG actually is more personal to me because I played WW for a long time, and I did some GVG back in core and early HOT days. But so this to me was also something I've wanted to kind of tick off and say I've done a GVG tournament. Of course, this was not the way I wanted to run the tournament in the sense of a month. I actually wanted it to be shorter, but to do it shorter, you have to also do 4 or 5 months of qualifiers, of mini tournaments, right? Mini tournament qualifiers that lead up to a big tournament. which can then also be like a week or two, not even. But hey, the fact that we got this tournament done is what I'm happy for. So, and I plan to do more, like another 4 or 5. And here's the thing, like we're probably gonna do like 4 or 5 qualifier tournaments for GVG at the end of the year, and those will tie into the same Champions of the Mist big tournament, like the global tournament that will tie in next year in like probably around March. But that way, instead of having group stages and the actual double elimination all in one tournament, it would just be like a double elimination of like top 8 of each region. And that would cut the tournament into basically like a week and a half. It would actually make it shorter and much more doable. That is my plan for the tournament in GVG in the future. The Gilliam, man who funds WW to stay alive. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of them. There are plenty of other people who funded a lot of guilds in WW. I'm just the one that people know. So yeah, I feel like this is like, you know what, whether we got the sponsorship from Aina or not, this was going to happen regardless. People were committed to making this regardless, and we brought this. It was not ideal. I mean, we tried the organization in the sense of like trying to get people helping was difficult. There were, you know, certain, I guess, roller coasters, roadblocks. Some people thought participants should not participate as admins. Some people thought, well, why don't admins also have people who participate as long as they can be unbiased? But you know, I had to work with what I did, and we had, you know, a good staff team that more or less wanted to help and step up, and we have a lot of guilds that wanted to give this a shot. And you know, like if it wasn't for the guilds participating for this tournament, it would not be here. So at the end of the day, you have to give it to these guilds who committed a month in June for this, because this is the month that people usually take as a break. So you have to really give it to the guilds who decided to stay. So now, of course, I say this, and there was 2-3 drama incidents in the tournament, but what tournament doesn't have like problems, right? So, but at the end of the day, like everybody is really just passionate about this game mode, and I feel like that's really what matters. The passion for this game mode is what made this tournament continue. So yes, were there mistakes? Absolutely. Some of those mistakes were on people. Some of those mistakes were on the admins or the staff. Like, sure, nothing is going to go 100%. Even though I tried to go for as much of perfection as possible, it was not possible. You know, but if you're going to let every single negative thing bring you down, then don't host tournaments, right? So I saw a lot of, you know, let's just say, not friendly DMs that, you know, some people basically got. And so like even I had a lot of angry people in my DMs, and obviously a lot of shit talking. But like it's passion. It's passion. You know what, we're all more or less passionate about the same game mode. So that's really what matters for this tournament. That is why we're here. So yes, mistakes sometimes happen, but this is why we, you know, next tournament, now we have a lot more to perfect, a lot more to improve on, right? And yeah, maybe next tournament we do get the sponsorship, or I mean, we still have the global finals. I don't know, maybe we could get a last minute sponsorship from Aina. I would hope. I would really hope. I mean, it might go a lot to say that they would actually sponsor us with some gems, but if they don't, that's fine. You know, ultimately there's some support, a lot of streamers streaming it. You know, drama or mistakes or problems that were solved, this tournament has been a success. It has brought a lot of interest back into the scene. I've seen a lot more people interested and ask questions of GVG. A lot more people have gotten into it. You know, the next tournaments, it will be fun. Like, we're gonna keep this going. This is just more of showing. This tournament really is a Kickstarter for the next year's tournament. But more importantly, this tournament shows you that there is still a game mode called GVG, and it's very much active. That's exactly what we were here for. Do you consider making the WW tournaments resemble the modern esports system on selecting teams? I mean, we wanted maybe an esports feel. That's kind of how we went with the overlay and the production. Of course, to make this a proper esport, again, esports for this is very difficult because it's a very specific game mode. Either you like this or you don't like this. And you need Aina to obviously put up some of the promotion there. But We are still getting gems. I don't think that was ever off the table, but I don't know if something different has been said officially. Okay, yeah. As far as I know, we're still getting gems, just not seen it. Remains to be seen. So, you know, hopefully we can get that. It would be lovely to get gems for the winners of the tournament. So, yeah, I mean, again, like if more people want GVG scene to be alive, it means there needs to be more of these tournaments. Not just this one, by the way. To me, I don't think the big tournaments are where it's at only. Like you also need a lot of those mini tournaments, like 1-day tournaments that get, like if you do one tournament every month that takes like a day, like, you know, like a stream of 5 or 6 hours, those tournaments are what actually build up the scene. To me, the collective is what builds it up, not just one major celebration. So yeah, next year, like, you know, if we're gonna do this Champions of the Mists next year, the original plan was 4, 5, or 6 mini tournaments that serve as qualifiers months in advance, basically like how ATs are, right? Monthly ATs, but use those as qualifiers, and then the winners of those secure their place in the invitational bracket. Or I mean, it's not invitational if they have to secure their place, but they secure their place, and then maybe the winners of an open bracket advance into the tournament as well. And then that way you have, like, you know, oh, there we go, you're actually underway. All right, we'll talk about this later. We're underway. Beam versus IQ right now. The winner of this matchup will advance towards the global final qualifiers. Who could it be right now? And as we say that, IQ actually getting the reveal here on from Beam's player, and they look like they're going to engage here. And immediate pressure coming out of Beam right here, not giving IQ a chance as Beam continues the fight here, managing to actually get a kill, almost actually focusing this player here. And they have to go into stealth here, and IQ getting caught up here.
Good bubble by IQ, actually catching multiple players here. The spell break here is a little bit low. Does manage to get out, and actually is stealthed up by the scrapper, so we'll be fine for the time being. Now the Scourge is very low as well on the side of IQ. No follow-up is there. Of course, Beam not having really the classes to do so, but still finding the pressure and actually finding the kill here on the Thief. Thief does get rest as well as the Scourge on the side, so IQ is fine for the time being. But with so many Scourge available, there's actually many targets.
Yeah, and they look like they're going to focus that Tempest, and that's the heal of IQ. One of the healers gone, and it looks like they do. The Cleave's too strong, and IQ has to call it right there with too many downs on their side. Not enough to keep up their sustain. Beam with a very aggressive comp right now, and it is paying off for them. Of course, XV was able to handle this comp very well in their matchup. IQ here in this first round, realizing that they're dealing with a very, very aggressive comp. A lot of CCs, a lot of more or less control over there, and it's, you know, helping Beam right now. Does the whole guild team have to be on the same server to join the GVG? Well, now with this arena, no, not really. Since it's more or less all servers can join the same instance. I think GVG could be esports related, just not a crazy open field for this. Yeah, I mean, I think there is something. Again, more tournaments is what will get this underway, right? Anyway, it's 1-0 towards Beam right now as they take their first win in this matchup. IQ have a long road. I mean, even if they win this matchup, they still have to face XV next, which is arguably also another tough opponent for them. So it is going to be a long night if IQ can manage to pull out of this match here with a win. Is it Beam Revenge or IQ Inquisition Finals? Well, chat, I mean, there is gamble points here. I mean, people have already put in their points. Beam and IQ. Can the Spanish Inquisition upset Beam here? Of course, they are a tough guild, but Beam definitely edging out the skill set here. The finals bracket, I believe... GVG bracket? No, that's not it.
It's an announcement in the GVG Discord. You can find it there.
There is actually a code for it. Here, actually, we're underway here. You can join GVG Discord for that. We are underway for the next matchup now, or next round in this matchup, as Beam look towards getting on. And they're gonna actually allow IQ to advance to them actually, and the reveal coming out very late, but both guilds well aware of where they're at, and kind of just exchanging sides here. Beam actually going to go for the push again and going to try and get more pressure on IQ. IQ not able to get a footing right here, as multiple CC here, pulls getting done here. The bubble coming out from them to retaliate and managing to catch. Ooh, they catch the firebrand here, but it's not enough, as Beam able to counter that, and that bubble blocks their path towards that firebrand, and unfortunately not able to get that firebrand down. Could have been maybe a good start for IQ here. And as I say that, multiple of their players just keep getting targeted here, and it's just not looking well for them.
The pressure on this firebrand here might go on the downside, but is being healed up. Barely makes it out now, is fine for the time being, so Beam's still okay in numbers. No kills so far in this GVG, but bubbles being exchanged left and right. Beam definitely not in the position they would like to be in. They want to take the advantage and snowball from there, and doesn't seem like they are getting it. Actually, they are getting kills now, so IQ is actually cracking under pressure a little bit. Very good engaged by Beam, finding 2 kills
Also,
here
Renegade
so far.
going down. Now the Scrapper as well going down, and looks like IQ not able to try and get even their players up, and they will have to call, unfortunately. Just too much pressure, and the aggressive comp of Beam is really coming out here, and it's giving a lot of trouble towards IQ. I mean, not even able to really do anything, more of trying to counter and react towards Beam, but Beam just, the heavy pressure is just too strong right now for them, and IQ having to more or less just defend themselves. Even the bubbles even from Beam are, you know, not just the offensive ones, but even the defensive ones are definitely helping them out here, of course, preventing IQ from multiple instances of taking a kill or even bringing down a player. Beam right now finding a lot of comfort in this comp right now.
We kind of saw also in the GVG between XV and Beam that initially XV struggled a little bit with dealing with the composition that Beam threw at them. But then in the later stage of the round of the GVG, they actually started to take some more rounds, get a little bit more comfortable into the fight, and that's when they really started to winning the round. So it might take IQ a little bit of time to get to that point, realizing how to beat Beam's composition. And what they need to do is they need to find a little bit better balance of playing in range versus going for engages. Because you cannot stay in melee range against Beam for too long. They're gonna out-CC you, they're gonna outstrip you, and they're gonna out-pressure you if you stay in melee range too long, just because they have so many DPS spell breakers available to them. So if IQ can find a balance between playing in range, let their ranged classes do the work, their Scourges, their Renegades, Scourges with the Shades, of course, that they have available to apply pressure in range. And if they can make a little bit better use of that, they can start fighting themselves back into the fight. But they need to find out and figure out how to do that on the go, as so far it seems like Beam has the advantage. Round number 3 is starting Beam with a 2-0 advantage so far. It's very hard actually to stay in stealth against so many spellbreakers. And these spellbreakers do again get the reveal on the side. Now IQ going for the center and disengaging as Beam walks up. So no real engage landed yet.
And
now
the
here we go.
Spellbreaker
First
by
bubble
IQ
of
getting
Beam
taken
lands.
out here, and now a bubble trying to push that, and no, they're not giving IQ a chance to breathe. I mean, multiple bubbles here and catching players here off guard. Of course, Beam still having to get some kills yet in this round, but the pressure is obvious right now. Ooh, that spike here kills 2 players of IQ, get taken out immediately, and Beam's already up on this round.
It's a raw damage of the DPS spellbreaker is too much to deal with for Beam. Actually, one spellbreaker does go down on the side, but it's not enough, as he does get res up. A cleanly easy res for Beam, and they do target the Chronomancer now. Chronomancer might go down any moment, and there he goes into downside. The single target focus comes through, and 2 more on the side as well. There's too much pressure for IQ to deal with, and that's going to be round number 3. Also, a very clean victory for Beam. They lost 1 downstate, but they managed to get him up, and that's all the damage that they took in this fight. Very clean and very controlled victory.
Yeah, and again, it's Beam really not giving IQ a chance to breathe. They can't even get their strategy out right. Even the sustains are not enough, given that they should be able to sustain a bit better than that. I think just like you said, they're not able to withstand that offensive strategy, and Beam's definitely living it up here with that. Of course, is kind of was the opposite against XV, where we saw XV able to actually sustain through a lot of that damage. XV kiting those bubbles out very well, and of course managing to make sure their players are not too separated. Of course, that's not the same that we're seeing here with IQ, and IQ just not able to even start anything really, and Beam taking their round wins here in quick fashion.
More games for Beam to win, and they are back into the grand finals, or having a chance to make it into the global finals as the EU representative.
Yes, the
But
winner of
that's
this
still quite a
match
way to go,
can't
as they
go
first
yet.
have to pass IQ.
I mean, it looks like 2 more rounds, and they very well may. And of course, it doesn't matter though, because the next match is really what determines it. And like we said, even if XV won the first match, what if they lose towards the winner of this match, right? And pretty much that winner is what we represent. So again, you have to win the next match. And of course, for these 2 guilds, this really is the final chance for them to get into that next match. So loser takes their bow, leaves, while the winners of this match still have 1 more standing in their way. And XV right now is standing in the way of both of these teams to making it to the global finals. And both these teams right now need to win. They're both in each other's way, but only one can win. One will advance and one shall take their bow.
You have to take it one round at a time, of course. You have to just focus on what's ahead of you. That's what IQ will be thinking out as this 4th round is starting. Reveals again going aggressively into deep, and IQ is revealed on the right side of the fight. Going for the cross now, and actually the mines find the bounce back on the Chronomus. Might see a bit of focus on Beam come towards him, but no, he just gets stealthed and does got now. Bubble comes out from Beam, trying to find the target here on this Firebrand. He is stealthed, I believe, and does get rest by the Tempest.
Stealth, of course, but of course they find their target on the next player already, and Beam gotta be careful. Their Tempest could be taken out here, but no, multiple pulls here and so many bubbles over here, and I could just barely getting their players.
Not enough though, as 2 more players go down. State there's too much pressure, and the CC is strong enough to keep them locked into the damage. As the 3rd kill is now being confirmed, and there we go, the victory goes to Beam.
It is match point now. Beam is ending this match in quick fashion, chat. It's not what you like to see here, but Beam is a very, very strong guild here. And this comp, obviously, XV not having too much of an issue compared to IQ, but IQ is just not able to mount any sort of attack here on Beam.
IQ definitely needs a bit of a miracle here to come back into the fight, because so far they're just getting smashed by the Beam Warriors. Every round so far, just IQ seems to somewhat handle themselves quite nicely into the fight, and then at some point they just crack and start getting multiple downs at once and just getting cleaved out. Really, the snowball effect of the Beam Warriors is so strong. Once you get CC and locked down, it's hard to escape again, because the CC reapplication is just so strong with the 2 Chronomancers that they have, as well as the 5 Spellbreakers. Definitely very difficult to deal with. IQ has 1 chance to start winning rounds here, or it is all over for them.
And it's match point, so if they don't, then this is it. This is it. But of course, they have 4 rounds to win, just to tie it, really. So 5 rounds for IQ. Now, can they do the reverse sweep that they just did? We'll have to see. But very difficult path. Beam have just been very dominant in this matchup. The comp is just too much for IQ. So we'll see. Match point now almost underway. almost underway. Hero comeback IQ. Well, we'll have to see. Will the Spanish guild make their way back up here, or will they take their bow shortly in this next round? Still one more round for them to maybe make a comeback. Of course, 4 rounds just to tie it. So there's a lot of pressure here. Can they figure out the beam strategy or not? And here we go. Underway for what is match a point right now. And Beam actually remaining to stealth up here. And they do get the reveal on IQ. And it looks like they're going to be chasing their players here. And looks like they are going to go for the first engagement. Actually, no, choosing to pull back a little bit before that. And looks like they're going to turn around now and keep up here. So both guilds actually not yet engaging, choosing to be a bit more careful. The stealth coming out here from Beam and full charge in here. And looks like they managed to get a couple players caught in a bubble here. The Scourge of IQ caught in, and they're going to punish that Scourge, managing to barely escape. The Poland CC is too strong here, and multiple players from IQ down. One already finished.
Instantly killing 3 players in one shot. That's going to be it. There's no more chance for IQ to come back. I feel IQ still manages. They have, of course, this one last chance to fight themselves back into the tournament, but it's not going to be enough. It's another IQ player is finished off on the side. And IQ might be going to the last man, but a huge pull, pulling 5 more players of IQ into the bomb, and they're all dead. That's going to be it. Beam makes it back into the grand finals, eliminating IQ with a very convincing 5-0 victory.
And we said
Bettors
this.
are in shambles, as many of them actually bet on Beam losing a couple of rounds to IQ, but it was actually a very, very clean victory from Beam here.
It is very one-sided here. Dominant fashion from Beam. And yeah, we've talked about this earlier in the night, that even though Beam had lost, we could very well see them go up against XV in the grand finale qualifiers here on the EU side. And it pretty much is the case. We are looking at this right now. Beam are going to go head-to-head now with XV for one more round, one more game. As I have to say, and that game is the important game here. It will determine who actually will advance to the global finals on June 27th. And the Spanish Inquisition take their bow one last time here, as they are eliminated from the tournament after a great reverse sweep against Inc. The Germans. They unfortunately lose to a clean sweep here with 5-0. But it is okay. They can at least take some sort of pride that they have come in 3rd in this tournament on the regionals.
Yeah, congratulations to IQ. Placing as 3rd in the GVG tournament is a huge achievement for them. Very well done. And of course, they are very much so into the prize money for the tournament. I believe they are getting about 10% of the total prize pool, something like that.
Yeah, it's still a pretty good prize pool. I mean, of course, you do want to see a comeback, but
it's about 15k gold or something like that, right? So they will be happy with that. Now XV is getting ready. They are joining the arena as IQ is making space for them. We are getting ready for the grand finals.
yes.
Of the EU regionals.
Do there exist player lists? What do you mean player lists? Oh, the yeah, no, that's not public. That's only the staff can see the roster, and of course, whoever the guild is that knows the roster. All right, XV are making their way here, and it is the final match of the night. And we said this could have been the next match again. These guilds face each other one more time. XV actually coming up 5-3, I believe, in the first match that these two met. But It all comes down to this. We talked about this. It really comes down to this match. It's not enough just to win the first one to get yourself in the qualifier. You have to win the qualifier to actually represent the European region. We will resume. All right, yeah, 10-minute break. That's fair enough. All right, let's do a giveaway. With that 10-minute break, let's do a giveaway. 50 gold on the line. Chat exclamation rig for 50 gold on the line. Gotta put your account ID. Once I call your name, we will draw the winner in 5 minutes and do another giveaway in 5 minutes after that. Exclamation rigged. 50 gold. Make sure you follow the stream for the giveaway. There we go. 10-minute break by Beam. Of course, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Make sure you get your water. Make sure you get your whatever it is, your drink. I don't know, a beer. Get yourself a beer. Get yourself drink, shots, vodka, tequila. I don't know what you need to drink. Juice, maybe, if you like juice. I don't know, some sports drinks. Red Bull. I don't know what it is you drink, but drink and get yourself a snack, right? Some popcorn for some intense GVG gaming, because these two guilds are the top of the top right now in EU, and they're about to go head to head one more time, because the winner of this guild, the winner of this matchup, they advance towards the global finals, and they will face Requiem, the NA global final guild that has made it for the NA side. They are representing NA, but we'll find out which one they'll be facing. Will it be Beam or XV? And like, as we've said, it's been a very mixed reaction. A lot of people cheering for Beam, a lot of people cheering for XV. And this was the matchup really everybody wanted to see, right? This was one of the matches people were looking forward to in this tournament, and it has happened twice now. We're getting the second one. Of course, will the second time bring a different result? We'll see. The very offensive strategy of Beam versus the very meta strategy of XV, choosing to play a Dragon Hunter. How much time do you have until the start? I believe they requested a 10-minute break, so I guess about 8 more minutes. So if you want to put your last minute bets, Panda. So if you guys want to bet, by the way, on the tournament, this matchup, if you want to take your last minute bets, you can go to the GVG Discord and place your bet with Expandus there. There's a betting channel. Make sure you get in there and place your bets. Of course, we'll start a prediction here as well. So join the Discord and see if you want to take your bets. 5-minute prediction as well here on stream. And of course, there's a giveaway. Why is there an error creating prediction? Are they using the same comp? Do you want to explain the comp again? If they're using, I think they're still using the same comp, right? They might make some changes.
Yeah, they will be using the same comp. So let me just
you already made one.
Flip through.
Oh, okay. Who will win? Oh, okay, perfect. I didn't see that. Oh, another tier 20 tier 1 subs from Dapper Dude. Yo, going all out on this tournament. Hey, I appreciate you again. Thank you so much, Dapper, for providing the community with 20 more gifted subs. That's 40 today. Legendary subs, let's go. Odin, Haku, Sim, ASQ, Smokey, Blarf, Mescal, and Blood Gangs, Bill Grant, Peaks Gaming, Mixa, Dizar, PlayJ, Raphael, Fede Punk, Arahia, I don't know if I pronounced that wrong, right? Sickwood, Indie Fox, the what is that? The Alex King, and Mustache. Congratulations on your tier 1 gifted subs. Look at that. Wow, that is huge. Dapper, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's 40 subs, chat, from one person today. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, there's a lot on Beam. A lot on Beam right now. 30k now on Beam. Anyway, chat. For those who are new, you've received basically ×3 sub luck now. So anyway, exclamation point rigged for 50 gold on the line. We're going to close this giveaway now, and then we're going to draw the next giveaway immediately. So last chance to enter, last 10 seconds, exclamation point rigged to enter. And if you don't enter, don't worry, we have one more after this. And we still have more or less a lot more on the line. I mean, we have a legendary Twilight and another 2000 gem code to give away. All right, chat, there's still big giveaways that will be given towards the end of the stream, so don't miss up yet. This commercial break is brought to you by Arena. This commercial break is brought to you by Arena. Not feeling thirsty? Well, you're in luck. Have your Zaitafi now in Holberg's Dragon Bash Festival, 100% off, limited for 18 days. Join us now and smash them Elder Dragon minions. The following product may cause cavities and diabetes. Please eat responsibly. Arena. What? Okay. Well, I know this one's definitely sponsored by me. All right, double boof. Congratulations on your win. You gotta put your account ID in the stream chat below so I can gift you your 50 gold. I am here. There we go. Account ID, please. Account ID. Make sure you place your bets. You still have about, I believe, 6-ish minutes. About 6 minutes left to place your bets for this. And of course, the bets, the main bets on the GVG Discord, where Expand does basically, you can bet your, I mean, moldy bags. I believe there's other things that you can bet. So make sure you place your bets there. Join the Discord, get activated. And of course, follow these socials, chat, all right? Follow me on YouTube for some guides, podcasts, and other content on YouTube. Of course, it's been a little slow this month, but you know, I wanted my full dedication for the tournament. But next month, I have a bunch of guides planned. My Twitter, if you would like to keep up with me on Twitter. And of course, sometimes I post my face over there, and a lot of other updates and giveaways. Discord, my personal Discord. Instagram, my personal Instagram. And of course, if you'd like to join the United Arts of Tyria Alliance, you can join that as well. You can join our Discord, get in touch. We run giveaways and, you know, events for fashion contests, jumping puzzle speedruns, Griffin and Beetle races, and Griffin showcases. A little bit of help came towards this GVG tournament. You know, and you know, we have a lot of other communities. It's basically a bunch of communities that like to run different content. We also do have endgame content. We do have a training guild for raids and fractals too. So. All right, we're gonna draw this winner there, 50 gold. And of course, for the finale, for the grand finals on the global finals on June 27th, this Sunday, I am giving away a Path of Fire copy, another 2000 gem code giveaways, and another legendary, along with some other 50 gold prizes. So a lot is being given away, chat. Definitely a lot. And yeah, I mean, the prize pool that ANET's supposed to sponsor is more or less going to be for the GVG prize pool, so it's not actually going to be given away. But you know, that's why I'm giving away stuff to the chat, so that I can provide some chat, some codes. And I'm also giving well, as far as I know, that we are supposed to be getting gems, so that'd be great for the winners of the tournament. Games are still not set yet. I believe they're still under 5 minutes. So we'll do a quick 50 gold giveaway for only 3 minutes, chat. All right, 3 minutes, and we're gonna go. So get ready. Beam and XV are almost head to head. The winner of this match will advance to the global finals this Sunday. There can only be one EU representative, and who will it be? XV or will it be Beam? Exclamation point rigged for 50 gold. 3 minutes for this giveaway, and it's already been 20 seconds in. If you have not entered, then in the next, you know, 2 minutes and a half, then tough luck. But you won't want to miss the 2000 gem code and Twilight, because that giveaway will happen together. Ooh, here we go, chat. We're actually starting now. And Beam coming out of stealth here, XV on the other side, and it is the final matchup of the day. We're underway right now. Beam going towards their spawn, staying towards this one. The reveal comes out, and XV has been revealed. Will the aggressive push of Beam get them their win this time? We'll see that coming out, and the bubble immediately comes out, and Beam with a heavy focus on the players of XV right now, and they're not letting them a chance to breathe. Of course, XV now their turn to retaliate on toward Beam.
The aggressive movement by Beam, but it's not paying off, as they do not really find anyone At least so far. That's a clone actually, so that doesn't matter.
It's actually the
trying to
Chronomancer
engage with the
almost went down,
entanglement
but
now.
the heal came up as well. And the bubble does come out here. And you see one Beam player, the Chronomancer of Beam, a little split up here. Will they actually target that and focus that player? Not able to actually. And the both guilds actually trying to get something out of here, but it's very difficult. And we start to see one player from Beam almost went down here. And the longer this goes for Beam, the worse it is, because XV has the more sustain here. So they really need to start getting something, catching them in a spike. Pushing the damage here as Beam is slowly suffering here as the players are getting more and more picked off. Not getting any kills yet, but XV is getting a bit more comfortable here. Multiple pulls down there. Try and get something out of that. Not able to.
Both guilds just trying to play a little bit for pressure, trying to find the advantage here. Now, actually, is Beam finding a good chance on a kill here, but it was not enough as they did not manage to convert it. Kurams is still a bit focused here, though, on the backside of XV. Need to focus him. Actually, huge bomb, finding 2 kills on Beam in one go, and he banish. Make sure that they actually do convert them as well.
Those are the 2 renegades, by the
here.
way. You're going down. That is very huge for XV now, pushing this. And now Beam will probably suffer because of those 2 renegades not able to support them here. And that is going to start taking out a lot of their pressure. And they look like to be finding more kills. And Beam going to have to call it now. Multiple downs here, not able to sustain anymore. As XV plays the long game in this round and takes the first round. XV.
Bit of a slow round to start off the match here. It was XV who finally managed to take it. Of course, XV definitely preferring these slow kind of rounds here. As Beam is definitely trying to snowball the match on them, try to get an early advantage and not let up afterwards anymore.
Noob Gaming, congratulations on the 50 gold win. You got to put your account in the stream chat below. Yeah, and as we said, the longer these rounds go, the easier it is for XV to get in. And, you know, for Beam, really, they kind of have to wait a lot and sustain a lot of the damage that XV does if the round goes over a minute. And, of course, these rounds do go over a minute because they're very top-tier guilds. So, you know, if Beam can't get their initial burst underway, they kind of are sitting ducks until maybe they can land maybe something unexpectedly. But XV, they take their time, and again, they are a guild that can much easily kite around. Of course, there's more bubbles to kite around, but XV is a good guild that can kite around these bubbles as much as Beam tries to throw on them.
All right, and I actually am getting Roy in here to cast with us, so let's go to the admin channel in the Discord.
Are we doing the 3-man booth? Let's go. There we go, chat. We got Roy the boy in the house, the leader of RQM, who will meet one of these guilds in the global finals. The voice, as I say, of GVG is here.
Oh, what's going on?
I don't know if you're loud, actually. I have to wait to hear that on the delay.
What? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, no, your voice is fine. Ooh. Hey, ASMR voice, I have to say, Roy.
How's it going, boys? What's up?
Goes well. It's the final match, and we said these teams could meet each other again, and this is where it matters, right? This one of these guilds advances right now. Of course, now almost underway for the next round as we go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone is very surprised to see these guys fighting a second time here, but I think XV takes this. I don't think it goes to a third GVG, and I honestly would be surprised if Beam gets more than a couple rounds. But I mean, we'll see what happens, right?
There we go. And here we are underway. Take it away, Roy.
Oh, you want me to just get in there? All right. Well, first win's coming down now from XV as they continue to push forward, playing a lot more aggressively this round, chaining the second wins off as well. First win's just kind of defensively by Beam. We're just trying to regroup. They do have a little bit of potential here as both wins are going to be out now from XV to come forward. There's a down state coming out there. I think it gets glyphed out pretty hard, but a nice catch here coming out, and third win's coming out from Beam. That's going to be one cleaved out, one more down, 2 in down state, 3 in down state from XV. Beam actually pushing forward, holding down W key this time. They didn't really get the opportunity to do so last time, but they have it this time, and I think XV actually just going to crack and crumble here. 2 more in down state, 3 more in down state, several going to be finished off. That's round Beam, easy. XV just threw it away there at the beginning. And clearly, Caster's curse, unlucky. But yeah, I mean, XV just, I think, got a little bit overconfident there, a little cocky. They won the last round And they completely changed up their game plan that was winning them rounds in the first GVG and this one. And, you know, they played how they should not be. I'd be surprised if we see them make the same mistake. I don't really know why they made this mistake at all, but yeah, there you go.
I mean, it could just be a matter of, you know, not letting Beam play into something that XV is doing, right? Because if they stay with the same opening strategy for too long, it makes it very easy for Beam to play into that. So maybe they're just trying to switch it up. But this makes it, of course, very easy for Beam to just bubble and punish the push for XV.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like Beam's comp is it's very straightforward, right? Like it just their only DPS is 3 DPS warriors, yeah. If they have to backpedal, or if they you know, they get their opportunity to get kills basically once every 90 seconds. And if they're on the back foot most of the round, or during parts of the round, especially when their wins are up, then it's a lot harder for them to get kills and stuff and coordinate that. And I think the reason that the first GVG we saw against these guys, the first GVG of the day, was a little bit closer, was because XV made the mistake that we just saw them make, which was that they tried to play really aggressively and they didn't really respect Beam's wins enough. But then they started doing it more. Like the first round we saw of this GVG was obviously, I don't know if I'd say completely one-sided, but it was pretty one-sided for XV. You know, Beam didn't really have much going on. But this round, they just went all in. Like, they tried to go completely aggressive because they had the stealth opener on them. They dropped both their wins. They got basically nothing out of it. Beam just kited. They dropped their first wins defensively. They got a catch. They just chained their next 2, and they killed them because XV didn't respect it.
Yeah, and I feel like
I said,
for Beam, it's like, you know, when it comes out of the aggressive push, obviously Beam, with the way they're running their comp, they have that advantage to kind of be a bit more aggressive on that push. Whereas, as we've mentioned this, XV can, you know, last longer in the round. And of course, the longer they last, they have to try and draw Beam out as much as they can. And here comes the stealth. And so we'll see if they can try and do that here. Now both guilds are charging right here. And it looks like the first cleave here comes out on the Spellbreaker of Beam, actually able to get back up here. And Beam now having to turn around as XV again, pushing a very aggressive style here. And now Beam's turn to retaliate against that. And XV still being very aggressive here. It could cost them the same matchup that they did last round.
Ball's not really landing though, so far at least. XV with a bit of an advantage here, trying to find the focus on the Chronomancer. Chronomancer does go down and is banished. It's not converted though as the revive comes through.
Yeah, still getting focused though, and he has an illusion as well, so they can find him. That should be a kill confirmed, I think, under the chrono. And that's actually going to rally a Scourge from XV. He's very alone though, and that's probably going to be downstate. Rally comes through again. Nice job from XV to keep him alive, but he's still going to be focused by Beam, and that's going to be another kill confirmed now for them. XV starting to push in a little bit. There's no more wins left, I believe. Downstate coming out now with the single target from XV, being a little bit better there than Beam's, and they're going to find another kill. And that might just be round over. That's at least one of the Warriors dead on the side of Beam. So even if they can last another minute or so for their wins to come back up, it's just they're gonna have less of them.
There's not enough sustain either, because I mean,
well.
their Tempest and Firebrand also taken out at this point. So Beam really on a disadvantage, and they are gonna have to call it now. They do call it. Yeah, there's just not enough to hold up against XV. And if XV plays this long game, it is to their advantage, right? Let Beam tire themselves out with their opener.
It's not even about if they can play the long game, because Beam, outside of their wins, like, it's a lot harder for them to do things, right? But the thing is as well, if they can just continue to basically hold down W and stay on top of XV, and not get caught in the DH traps, not overextend like the Reaper Cleave or whatever, then the round going on longer isn't necessarily bad for them. 3 DPS warriors can just exist forever and get massive amounts of value even without wins. You know, wins isn't their damage source, right? It's the Arcing Slice. But if they're wasting their wins and they're not getting any value, if they're not forcing cooldowns from XV, and if they're not respecting the kite potential that XV have with the DH, and they get caught there, they will lose. They also, like, they have to be able to... One of the biggest things that Beam does better, like, really, really well, from me fighting them, from me just watching them, is those banner stomps. Just because of how important res utility is in this meta, they deny a lot of the res utility potential with those banner stomps. But if they don't have the initiative, if they're not getting the first down states, if they're not getting that early pressure out and making those down states and getting value out of those banner stomps, then it's a lot harder for them to get value out of them, in my opinion, because it's just not as easy for them to precast it later on in the round, and when they don't have the pressure already. So you haven't really seen that. You didn't see that in the last run, right? XV had the early engage. They had the early down state. Obviously, he got rezzed once, twice, whatever. But they were able to just stay on it and play around that. And I think if XV does that, if they play around single target a lot more, and they don't go in for those really aggressive spikes around their wins like we saw them on the round they lost, then they should be able to win this. They shouldn't really have too many issues cracking Beam.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it is of course a easier. I mean, well, not say easier, but the comp that they play is a bit more, you know, safer in that sense, where they can at least keep up with some of this initial pressure. And like you said, as long as they don't come out flying out with all these, you know, spikes that they hope to land, they can definitely win the rounds more in their favor. As well, Beam now going to see if that changes here, and looks like they're going to turn towards them, and XV going to go back here. Maybe another re-stealth coming up on their way.
They're just trying to bait. And they do. I don't know if they baited Stab or not. Now, obviously, Stab going to be popping on both sides if they didn't already. But I mean, look at this. Beam just aren't going in. Right there, there's the first wins coming out. So now they are starting to aggress. But I think it was a little slow there. They should have been able to push in sooner. First win's going to be dropped by XV defensively. Second win's now coming out from Beam. They have one each apiece. But Beam hasn't really gotten too much from that first wins. And XV actually going to be pushing in now with their second wins. A little bit off the mark, but it does catch a couple of players. There's Gravel coming out on top of that as well. There's a down state, but it gets res pretty quickly. So I think there was a banner res actually from Beam. So that's one less stomp they have there. Gaz going to be taken out inside of their stack as well. Is there a res for him? There should be, but it's not. The cleave going to be good from XV as Beam continues to try to push forward. They're still single targeting the Necro. They're trying to go on top of him. But unfortunately, with the death of that warrior, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to do so. The res comes out pretty well there from XV as well. So the Necro going to be back up. Breach going to be dropped, kind of wasted there. Beam not going to really push too far into that. But they're having a lot of trouble moving forward. And we see another downstate coming out now. Does get illusion to this time. But that's still, you know, a target for XV for sure. And that's the second warrior. And I think focusing the warriors is actually a pretty good game plan here for XV, depending on how they play around that specific focus, because it can be hard to focus warriors. But if you are able to kill them, it just basically completely removes the damage from Beam. And their comeback potential with their wins as well. Another downstate coming out now from Beam. XV going to take this is 3-1. And I think XV they've figured out how to play around Beam's comp really well. And I think the reason the first GVG was closer, like I said, is they made the mistake that we saw them make here in the round that they lost multiple rounds, multiple times, and they haven't done that this GVG. They did it once, and then they understood they can't do it again. They have to keep respecting Beam's comp, but if they play around it, they're just not going to lose. And the other thing, too, I think that's pretty important is as far as I know, I don't think XV fought Beam's comp before today. Like this 5 warrior comp, I could be wrong. So obviously the first round was going to be a lot of data for them. But now they've got that data, and Beam aren't really adjusting. They're not really, like, they're trying to play their comp, and they're trying to force it. And if it doesn't work, then they lose. And maybe that's their plan, right? Maybe they don't have, like, a backup plan. Maybe they don't have a way to adapt. But they're not really doing it right now. And I think XV have adapted at least how they're playing, if not their comp. I'm not really sure if they changed their comp at all. You can probably tell me better. But they've definitely changed how they're playing, and obviously it's working. So, I mean, maybe Beam takes one more, but I think it's going to be 5-1, maybe 5-2.
XV has some practice against this 5 Spellbreaker comp. I believe they scrimmed it, I think, once or twice. Okay. So, yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, I obviously haven't been paying as much attention to, like, the EU scrims and stuff as of late, but, yeah, I didn't see them fight him too much, but, regardless, I mean, it's just, like, yeah, I think the first GVG was just closer because of what I said, and at this point, Beam have to really either try something new, or they just need to enable their comp a little bit better than they are, because I do think it is XV playing around it better, but it is also just Beam not... I don't know. I mean, that first engage wasn't bad, right? They got their wins out first. They had someone caught in it, but it just wasn't fast enough, and there wasn't follow up on it enough. But it's...
I think if anything, the Beam composition a little bit too much relies on the enemy player or enemy team making a mistake too much, right? Because if XP pushes into the damage or pushes into the bubbles, then yeah, they can get an advantage and they can snowball very hard on it. But if they just don't do that, right, then what are you going to do as Beam? It's very hard to create opportunities from where they're coming from without a Scourge, without the ranged engage that XP, for instance, has available to them. And also with the lack of single target focus that Beam has available to them, it's just very hard to create opportunities.
Well, they have 3 Renegades, and that's not nothing. I mean, 3 Renegades is pretty good single target.
It's 2 Renegades. 2 Renegades for Beam.
Oh, is it 2 Renegades? Okay.
Yes.
They were running 3 when we fought them, I think. But, I mean, yeah, obviously 2 Renegades isn't as good. And, I mean, no Necro certainly is going to weaken it. Looks like a canceled round, I think. Not sure why.
Like,
Shade DC again?
Maybe something from XP?
Yeah, I think Shade DC'd. Yeah. Shade DC'd, yeah.
Yeah,
Having some DC issues in that first GVG, so...
Yeah, it happened last one, I think, too. I mean, I think, yeah, figuring out their strategy has kind of like... because, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is a very, very specific comp that Beam chooses to run, right? And I think it's like... something that me and Garv were talking about is like they have been the guild that is experimented a lot in this GVG, and in the last at least month we've seen they've run different compositions in like a lot of their skirmishes. So it's, you know, it is a little you could say interesting when the guild comes up with something that other guilds don't generally run, or you know, some other guilds might not really be able to pull off. But I think Beam does it well, but because you give up a lot when you run that specific comp, right? You run more Spellbreakers, you kind of give up a lot. You have to give up a lot of like the other classes that you could have, right? The extra Firebrand or such, or the extra...
oh yeah, you're running 5 of one class.
Yeah. So
no one is running 5 of any class.
yeah. So, and then also, like you said, I mean, XV seemed to, and something actually Garvey called out in the last match. If XV targets the Spellbreakers and downs it, you're basically attacking the entire focus of what your comp is supposed to be about, right? With these five warriors. So the fact that XV can keep that pressure and, you know, knock 1 or 2 off, that heavily damages Beam. As you know, some of that meta comes down towards that exact class, I mean, achieving what it can achieve.
Well, what I would like to see, to be honest, so I'm just getting picked. Yeah. I think so. What I said about that 4th round we just saw, right, where XP won, like Beam needed to go faster on their engage, but I actually think the opposite of like what they should be doing in general, like hold true. I think they should be trying to play more patiently, because it doesn't really seem like they're trying to bait things out from XP at all. I know it's obviously harder to bait traps out than like maybe other cooldowns, especially since traps are on such a short cooldown in general. But I think that, you know, trying to bait stab, trying to bait XV's wins so they can't use them defensively, trying to make XV think that you're going to push in with your wins, you know, whatever. They need to try and play around XV a little bit more, which, you know, again, is like how XV have been trying to play around them. And I think they haven't been doing that. And obviously they're tired. They've been playing for a while. They've had to do an extra GVG where XV have had this long break. Although, just from like a player standpoint, I actually think that long break can sometimes be just as bad as getting to play. Especially because, like, obviously IQ wasn't, you know, very difficult for Beam, right? It was 5-0, it was very clean for Beam. So it wasn't like a very challenging GVG necessarily. But, you know, all of those are going to be factors here. But I don't really see Beam playing around XV as much. And again, like I said this before, I think XV have adapted. And they're other than the 1 round we saw them lose here, they have been playing their game plan. They've been sticking to it. Like you saw that last round, Shade literally pulled, like, he pushed in, and then they just pulled away without doing anything. They were just trying to bait cooldowns from Beam, and we haven't really seen Beam do that as much. So.
Well, I think it's also a bit of a matter of XP not letting them, right? Because in every round so far, at least in this Grand Finals rounds, it's always been XV who has been aggressively crossing in stealth and trying to put pressure on Beam from the start, right? So not really given Beam much opportunity to bait stealth at all, because it's been XV with the initiative from the stealth so far.
Which is really
I think
weird.
I think that's intentional from the side of XV, because if XV gets their stab baited by Beam, that's actually a huge problem for them, because if Beam has a stability advantage from the round start on, their warriors can do a much better job at actually landing the CC and getting the control over the fight. So I think that's a plan from XV at least.
I mean, at least even with the bubbles that they can, you know, I mean, XV can really kite them very well. And of course, if they're not getting their players caught into those, you know, Beam can't control or can't get their CC game to get a lot of players focused up and then try and, you know, mow them down and anything. So when XV is able to kite a lot of that out, you know, it again further puts more pressure on Beam, because now they more or less are, you know, losing the engagement that they tried to get something out of, and then XV can then, you know, put out their focus, which is next, right? And then Beam has to sustain that somehow.
Looks like Shade's still disconnected, by the way. I don't know if if the UK is having any issues or if it's specifically to him, but unfortunate for sure. Obviously, causing some delays. It's already pretty late for EU, folks.
That is late for EU, and I mean, It's 1 a.m. here in Dubai.
Get Roy to admin? Why? There's no reason for me to admin. Shade is not an admin. Shade is the leader of XV. So I could
I have
admin.
confirmation
but,
that Shade is back in the game.
Oh, there we go, baby. Let's
There
go.
we go.
Let's get it. Let's hope that this instance isn't full. But yeah. I don't know, man. I would love to like say that I think there's gonna be like some close rounds here, or that I think like Beam could come back. But the reality is, even if Beam somehow wins like 4 straight or whatever, the reality is that they have to win another GVG after this, right? If they beat XV. And I just think there's so much more opportunity for XV to continue to play around Beam's comp, unless Beam changes something drastically. And not even drastically, but changes something significantly enough to make a difference. And I just see XV adapting more. I just see XV as a guild that can adapt a little bit more than Beam right now.
Would you
and I
say
think
that
they've
this
shown
comp that Beam runs is kind of like a... I don't want to say it, but would you say it is maybe a one-trick pony, or do you feel like there is a lot of strengths to this build that, you know, helps out?
I mean, there's differences between calling it a one trick and saying it has strengths. I mean, every comp's gonna have strengths and weaknesses, right? And Beam's comp's main strength is just that I think it's a little bit easier to execute. But I also think that it's easier to play around in some cases, as I've been saying. And you know, I don't know if I would call it a one-trick pony necessarily, because like, as I said before, you can still get kills outside of your wins. But yeah, I mean, you could consider it a one-trick because, again, the only real DPS on Beam's side are their DPS warriors, right? Like, they don't have multiple DPS sources. They don't have a lot of single target. They don't have ranged pressure. It's a melee comp that revolves around their 3 DPS being the same class and being able to get downstate pressure, get downs and pressure with arcing slice. So in that sense, yes, it is definitely a one trick. But I do think that you can still, you know, get pressure, get downs without your wins, which I think is what a lot of people would like look at this and say, oh, that's the one trick. And I do think there's some interesting things that they do in general with their comp as well. Like it's not just the 3 or the 5 warriors, right? There's other things that they're doing that I think other guilds haven't been doing. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think what Garfried said about the stealth as well is really important. I haven't obviously watched a lot of the EU GVGs because I've just been at work or busy or whatever, but you know, yeah, like it doesn't look like Beam is really changing up their stealth very much. And maybe XV isn't either, but they're not getting punished for it. So that is definitely really important as well, and definitely a pretty big factor.
I definitely think XV is playing more aggressively in the stealth game against Beam than other guilds. I think against other guilds, XV has been more passive in the openings, but here they're surprisingly proactive.
Is Shade in the arena?
He is in, yeah.
Yes, he is. Very cool, very cool. Is he? There he is, yeah. My god, all of their Guardians are Diamond Legends, dude.
Incredible.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. One of them is Mithril. Shade and Loves are both Diamond Legends. Jesus. Poor Leggy, man. It'd be so difficult for him to not, you know, to know who not to focus.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Next round is underway as Beam's going to go towards the south side here almost.
Oh.
And the reveal already coming out here in XV. Beam has the opener. It's their game to engage.
Yeah, and okay, so this is actually really good. Like, I was gonna say I would have liked to see Beam going in harder, but they bait the first wins out. However, the turnaround from XV is really good. They one-shot that Scrapper, but he's gonna get rezzed up. Beam have the advantage here. They have 3 wins to XV's 1. XV can only use 1 more wins defensively. So Beam really should be looking to just get aggressive here as long as they can play around the traps. There's that second win's now coming out from XV. So Beam still has 2 wins left. And they've only used like a little bit of res utility, but one warrior getting a little bit caught. Now he's going to be slightly out of position. There's the second winds coming out from Beam. If they can get downs here, they might be able to make something out of it. And it looks like they do get 2 downstates, maybe even 3. That's going to be an illusion. No, illusion not going to come in time. And that's going to be the battle standard, stopping several players. I think that was at least 2 dead coming out from XV now. 3 dead coming out from XV now. And this is Beam's run for sure. So they are going to make it 3-2. I think they even still have another wins, but it might not even get to that point because another downstate, 2 more downstates in the center as XV are going to have to walk away limping. And I mean, there you go. Beam. They baited the first wins, and you like to see it. I was gonna say I thought that engage was kind of a little bit slower than I would have liked to see from Beam, but they played around it smarter. So credit where credit's due. They really they did it better that round.
Looked like
Looks
XV
like they listened
almost
to you in the break.
almost sustained themselves, but then took the bait, and Beam actually able to get back in on it.
I actually have a bit of an inside scoop as to why XV lost that round. But I'll wait until after next round. If they lose it again, I'll expose. But
Okay.
yeah, it does have to do with their bench. But yeah.
Oh yeah, let's not say it now so that it doesn't expose on the stream until after.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, yeah, that was good. You know, I will say as well, I think it was a little bit greedy from XV to just walk across the center like that. They should know that Beam are gonna have revealers in the center. I don't know. That's just a little greedy in my opinion. But I don't think that was necessarily XV playing wrong. I think that Beam just baited their first wins really well, and then they just had a very clear advantage there because I think using 2 wins defensively to 3 offensive wins isn't terrible. Like, obviously, that means 1 wins you don't have a wins to counter with, but it's not bad. But having 2 wins that you have to deal with, and obviously 3 DPS warriors, is just going to be hard. Plus, again, like I said, they got the early pressure, right? Obviously, XP got the first down state, but it was rezzed very quickly and very easily. And then Beam were just able to banner stomp 3 players before the illusion can come out. And that's, again, that they've been doing it very well. So if they get those early kills and they're able to banner them, they have a very, very strong lead in the beginning. And that's something that XP has to play around to make sure they're not losing. Still though, XP has a lot more room to play around with than Beam does, right? They have not only do they have a round up on them, they have a GVG up on them. So
Yeah, again, it's one to tie it, and then again they have to go for the next one. Like you said, I mean XV, if they don't take the bait, they don't allow Beam to kind of push that early engage out of them. Like you said, it is really their match to lose, right? They should have this, given that they've most likely figured out the strategy. But I mean, we just saw it there. I mean, they actually, took the bait as we called it, and cost them the round as being able to get 3 of their players down with the banner.
XV stealthing defensively, I like it. They changed it up from last round immediately, so good call from them. No one really going to get caught too hard in the opener here. XV playing slightly aggressive. They need to be careful, but it looks like they're just waiting for Beam's wins. Still, they're going to be dropping the first wins. And I don't know, this is just aggression from XV that I don't think we should be seeing so much. Now Beam going to push in 2 wins, though. That's a huge mistake there. That's really unfortunate for Beam. They had the advantage wins up there, and now they've just kind of thrown it away, unfortunately. XV now pushing in with their second wins, trying to find something. It doesn't look like they're going to get much grab rolls on top of that, but they still just can't catch anything. They do get a nice pull coming out there and into the Nox. Firebrand going to be focused target off towards their spawn. He should go into downstate. 3rd wins and final wins coming out from Beam. Used slightly defensively, actually. And the cleave is going to be good on the Firebrand. That should have been a res for Beam, but it's not going to happen. Beam now going to try to push forward. No wins on the field for at least another minute or so. XV, though, again, looking aggressive here into the triple warrior comp from Beam. It's not going to be good for Beam at the moment, having to backpedal like this. They're trying to find a way to get back in, but another downstate coming out now. Nox going to be good from XV as well. That is going to be the illusion coming out, so retarget good, but another downstate coming out now from the side. XV going to try and cleave that, looking like that probably, no, actually will come through. The res is going to come through, and Beam going to push back in immediately. The illusions will be ticking, though, so they have to be careful they don't overextend to that. XV happy to just kind of kite back and let them push in. Beam going to start pulling away as the illusions tick down. That's going to be 1 for sure cleaved out. It's going to be a hard res on the stack, but that's still going to be 2 dead from Beam now. And this is very hard for them because they know that they're playing at a match point here. If they drop this round, it's only 1 more for XV to completely close out the EU finals. XV going to push forward. 2 players advantage here. They should be able to just find this. Looking for a single target. They get 1 down in the center. That's going to be a warrior. That's probably GG. 2 more downstate. Yeah. 4-2 now for XV.
And round by XV. Especially that first kite on the double bubble. I mean, Beam definitely should not be double bubbling. I think that's a bit of a miscommunication on their side about who was supposed to be the 2nd and 3rd bubble there, but still the kite of XP was actually super clean. No one got caught in a bubble. The grapple was also missed, so very well played by XP getting out of that bubble and then completely negating the aggression that Beam was trying to put out there.
I mean, you should never see something like that. You should never see 2 wins like that in a I mean,
seems like a miscommunication. I mean, it sounded like it wasn't even anything close to getting anything from XV. So it definitely seems like it came off on the wrong time. Maybe something went off, and I don't know. But it definitely would be interesting to hear what probably was said now in the comm after that, you know, the fact that it just looked awkward. It really didn't even look like the two bubbles were meant to happen.
Or you got to commentate next finals. I will be playing in the next finals, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe I'll bench myself a cast. No problem.
Double duty. Double duty. He'll cast and at the same time, like, play in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was kind of looking like beams around at the start because again they baited out XV's wins and I was really surprised to see how aggressive XV was playing at the beginning. I don't think XV should ever be going for wins before they see Beam doing it. Like if they see Beam going in to push with wins, then obviously you drop it. But I don't ever think they should be making that first move. They should be making that first push, especially because they're playing a wins down from the start. But they did. They really opened themselves up to Beam, I think, and then Beam just got, I don't know, greedy or the miscommunication or whatever. And like you said, I mean, that even if it was only one wins there, I don't know that it was going to catch too much. But the thing is, it's still going to force XV to move and force them to burn some cooldowns, unless it's like completely on the other side of the arena. I think we're going to see another round coming out here. Potentially the last one. This is a match point. But yeah, I mean, you just shouldn't double here. Anyways, Beam looking like they're going to be going for pretty much the same thing. They do catch XV. Or XV going to open up on a Scrapper. That's going to be a Moa coming out from XV. The Moa is going to work, and it gets the downstate coming out there. It's going to be a Scrapper immediately taken out. Offensive wins coming out from XV. There's no rest for the Scrapper immediately. 14-15.
Tempest.
Yeah. There's defensive wins from Beam, but it's going to be a little bit late as another person going to be going into downstate. I don't know. I think they're demoralized. I think that might be it. One more down off to the side. Both going to get rallied. There's wins on both of this.
That's over.
Breach going to be dropped now by XV. 2 more, 3 more, 4 more probably and down. There's an illusion at the last second, but at least one got cleaved out there. XV just looking for blood, looking to end it right here. They've got at least 2, maybe 3 kills confirmed here. There's another wins, final wins coming out there from Beam, but they just don't get anything from it. They're just trying to get some pressure off of their backs, but it's not going to matter. Firebrand completely cleaved. That's it. 5 in downstate. GG XV. Take you.
And you will meet the winners of this game. Take a bow right now because XV's just secured their spot in the global finals, 27th of June. This Sunday, RQM goes head-to-head with XV right now, and just a great matchup here. But as Roy has said, the Beam strategy has been exposed, and XV made sure to punish them for it, ending the round in quick fashion, ensuring dominance. And basically, you are looking at your future opponents right now here, Roy, in the global finals. And right now, Beam takes their final bow in the tournament. Well put, well fought, but XV just able to close out and beat that comp from Beam right now. Their final bow in the tournament takes place.
And funny thing, actually. First GVG was 5-3, second was 5-2, right? That's the same score as we had versus SQ, just flipped.
Oh, nice. Sadly, we can't hear Roy cast the global finals. Yeah, no, honestly, it would have been nice if we got more of your casting. We needed some of that voice of GVG, Roy. So, you know what we'll do? You'll be pulling double duty in the finals. We will see you casting your gameplay and calling the enemy moves while you're also playing. Easy calls.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, all right. So basically, what you're saying is the only chance XV has is if I handicap myself. Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
a
a little bit of shit talking going on here. All right.
Well, it sounds like that's what you're saying. I don't know, man. You know,
have him record the script and play in the finals. But how would you know who wins?
How would I know? Well, I mean, yeah. How would you know?
Well, anyway, if Shade is online, I don't know if you'd like to have a quick 1-minute conversation with your future opponents.
I mean, I was gonna say if you want to interview him, maybe you could, but we should probably, if maybe we could. All right, sure, I don't care. Go do whatever you want. Yeah, your show. If you want me to hang around and talk to him, sure. I was gonna say I don't mind dipping out if you want to interview him, but
no. Well, we have our NA finalists and our EU finalists here, so it'd be a great, one-on-one confrontation, 1 or 2 minutes, and you could ask them about their game as well.
Sure.
All right, let's message them on Discord. Does not seem to be online on Discord. So I have to actually find them manually. NA, or still NA at heart here. NA, where you at? Well, we have to see that. Of course, there's Team NA versus Team EU right now. For you, of course, you know, NA already played, and your match was all determined over a week ago at this point. For you, what was your toughest challenge in the SQ matchup? Like, what was more or less like the challenge that you get around with? Like, any certain strategy, any certain you know, impressive round wins that you felt like put you guys ahead against your final match?
They're good players. They're a good group of players. And I'm sure you're aware we hard dodged them for a month and a half.
True.
That was the first time we fought them. They're good players, you know, and they're definitely the strongest group on an A besides us. So fighting another really strong group on an A was, for the, you know, essentially for the first time, was certainly a challenge in and of itself. But obviously it was by our design, right? I think from my point of view, it would probably be the fact that, like, up until then, most of our, like, official GVGs for the tournament had been pretty one-sided. And so, like, this was the first time where there was a chance, at least in my opinion, of us losing. I mean, we hadn't dropped around to any other guild, right? SQ is the first one to take rounds off of us, as they should have been. I expected that. Yeah, so I think that was probably the biggest factors, in my opinion, is that it was like our first experience as a group doing official GVGs that, you know, had tough rounds.
What are you gonna do in preparation for the global finals? Are you? I mean, obviously you're not gonna reveal any strategies, right? But are you gonna practice a little bit? Are you gonna scrim a little bit more, or?
I mean, yeah, we're raiding. Yeah, we're playing the game.
Still going full on even for the tournament. Which actually, by the way, Roy, we've talked about this, obviously, that, you know, this tournament, the way we planned it was only because of the way the arena was at the time structured. But I do hope for the next tournament we are actually able to put out the actual more or less a model, I guess, of how we wanted the tournaments, which is like, you know, mini qualifier tournaments, and then the main, you know, global grand finale is more or less just like a double elimination after months of, you know, determining the winners. Now, of course, this might be a chance, as we have you here. You've mentioned you've actually wanted to do one of your own tournaments in the future. Is there any, do you have a rough idea of what you want to do, or you would like to share maybe? Or is it too early yet?
I'll probably be making some announcements, I don't know, in a week or two for that. But yeah, Shade is here, by the way. I don't know.
Let's go, Shade. Oh, okay, there we go.
Hello. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Congrats.
Yes, we can. Congratulations on your win. You are now taking on RQM in the global finals, Shade.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. We worked really hard for this, so we're really, really happy. That's all I can say right now. Yeah.
Very nice. It seemed that, and this is something Roy called out as well, it seemed that you guys had kind of very much figured out in this game how Beam was playing. Of course, it was a very close matchup the first time you played them. But this game, it definitely seemed you guys were more confident and able to actually understand their gameplay here. So did that actually change up how you guys approach some of these rounds? As you seemingly definitely didn't seem to take more wins this match. We're only losing 2 rounds compared to the first game where you lost 3.
Yeah, so obviously we scrimmed Beam with all the other guilds plenty of times before the tournament and all the way in the first few weeks of the tournament. We already knew what comp they were playing, 5 warrior comp. So yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult, like they have all the strips, all the CC, etc. But yeah, honestly, I have to say, I felt like that Beam played really well in the first best of 9 where we lost 3 rounds. It definitely took us a little bit off guard compared to how we felt with them in scrims. But yeah, I think we stayed cool. We changed our playstyle a little bit, and for the second best of 9, I think we definitely stepped our game up a little bit. I do have to say congrats to Beam though. I think they played really well, especially in the first best of 9. And this kind of weird comp you could say they came up with, it's very, very different from most of what other guilds are running, and honestly, props to them for coming up with such a strong and original comp. Yeah, just well played, I think.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that it experimented a lot more compared to a lot of other guilds, and it paid off for most of the games. Of course, here you guys were able to take both games against them. But yeah, I mean, very good strategy from them. Of course, it's difficult to come up with something that, you know, can't be countered or something, but props to a team that was confident in changing basically their whole meta. But you guys have come up on top, and you are facing this man with your guild and his guild in a week, or sorry, not in a week, sorry, in a couple days from now in the global finals, Sunday, June 27th.
Yeah.
Which of you?
Yeah, really look.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know. Yeah. Obviously, RQM. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a huge challenge for us. So I think we're gonna take it easy in this next day, and then probably just. I don't actually know how it's gonna go. Actually, maybe you can tell us a bit more. Are we going to have the EU scrim first or the annual? Not really too sure how it works.
Yet to actually be decided, but of course we will more or less one or the other. It depends, which is easier on both guilds.
I think EU has to be first.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have ults.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I don't
so
think I want.
EU has to be first then.
All right.
Because you guys have
Yeah.
the transfer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
actually,
not a
it
problem.
works better because, of course, Roy. I mean, you have most of RQM in EU anyways right now, right?
Yeah, we have all the counts for.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, EU first, then NA, and then yeah, I mean, these two guilds, you guys duke it out for the final showdown of the tournament. And I mean, it's not even the prize pool. I mean, 150k worth of prize pool is cool, but really this is bragging rights right now, right? One of you guys will be able to say that they've won this tournament for as long as until another one comes up of the same magnitude. The other will basically say, well, we took second place. So just good luck to you both. And yeah, let's have a lovely match. Let's have a great match, great fights, great rounds. Good luck to both of you, RQM and XV.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say as well, like I know that all guilds in this tournament, they try hard their asses off, ourselves included. At the end of the day, we got to have one winner on the day, and that's just how it works. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll play our best. I'm sure RQM, well, you play your best as well, and yeah, may the best guild win in the end. And I just want to say thank you as well for organizing this tournament to the match admins and the admin staff and everybody, because I know that there's been some sort of like drama here and there, but compared to I think previous tournaments, this one has been handled very professionally in comparison. So I just think it's, yeah, I just want to let you guys know that it's really appreciated, I think, by much of the Guild Wars 2 World of War community. Yeah.
You saying that previous tournaments have been handled badly, shit?
Hey, I mean, the only one I have in comparison with is the first ever ESL one, and I mean that one was a yeah,
Cool, I didn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, that's fine.
not a pleasant
Well,
experience.
anyway, I appreciate it. I mean, again, something we mentioned earlier in the stream, you know, no tournament doesn't have its problems. But you know what? You learn, and of course, it's the first time doing a tournament of this maybe magnitude with this current format of arena. Now, you know, we didn't know that this was going to happen until a little late. But I appreciate all the people who came out, all the guilds who decided to give this a chance. I know it's in June. A lot of you are more or less bars and things and countries are opening up. And so I appreciate everybody that actually came up here for this tournament. It was a little very late notice, but everybody came through, and I really hope there's more of these down the line, and we can definitely start, you know, progressing the scene as it is, because it is a wonderful game mode. We all enjoy this game mode, and we just want to see it thrive. So I appreciate everybody supporting it, whether, you know, it came off as negative or positive. We all are just very passionate people, and we want to see this place succeed. So I appreciate all of you all for coming in here and getting this done.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, I will let you go because I'm sure it's very late for you, as it is very late for me. We'll see you Sunday and XV June 27th.
Hey,
Great.
Before you go, Shade,
Yeah.
if you'd rather, we could just skip the whole GVGing and just have like a mud wrestle or something.
Have a what? Sorry.
We could wrestle one-on-one.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If you come to the UK, I'll be down for that.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. And see you guys Sunday. Yeah.
We'll see you Sunday.
See
Thank you.
Sunday.
Bye bye.
All right. Good night.
Perfect. All right. Well, Roy, there you go. Is the finals underway? The final match in the tournament. It's been a wild ride for this tournament. And remember 2 months ago when we talked about, can we get this done? And you were like, maybe not. But then 2 weeks later, we have another meeting and it came through. And look where we're at now. Really, very, very proud. You know, a tear comes down my eye just talking about this. Shots fired? Oh, in terms of his mud wrestling? What's going on here in chat? Alright, chat. Let us continue. We still have one more thing to give away, chat, before you go. Congrats, Gilliman and admins. Yeah, I mean, congrats actually everybody for coming out for this tournament. Chat, before we let you go, we do have a giveaway, a legendary Twilight and 2000 gem code to give away in stream. And we're going to open up this giveaway right now for the next couple minutes as you enter 2000 gem code and 1 legendary Twilight. We already gave away one of the gem codes earlier on the stream. This is the next one. And of course, I am giving away the same 2 on Sunday for the tournament and 1 Path of Fire copy along with another legendary weapon. So yes, and I believe we'll sooner or later have our answer about those confirmed gems from ANET, which of course those gems go out towards the guilds, not really the chat, which is why I'm doing these gem codes for the audience to at least give some compensation. But Garfried, after a long day of matches, we are finally here.
It's a long day for sure. Yeah, it's been over 3 hours of GVG, I think, and we finally have our winner on the EU side.
Yes, we do. Actually, let me pull up the show over here, and I believe this is updated now. So there you go, 5-2. Now we pretty much started. Where we are. So XV and Raptors faced here. XV taking on IQ. You know, XV just a very dominant performance here in the tournament. Beam giving them the biggest problem, and of course XV still coming out here on top of Beam. Over here, IQ made their way against WOA. The Spanish guild took out the French to then advance here. Of course, losing here against XV and then making their way to the losers bracket. WAP actually beating Inc, but then of course forfeiting out of the tournament, of course, after let's just say some complications. We're all aware of what those complications were. French Fraser, white flag. Well, that's unfortunate. Beam actually beating Dedicated here and then advancing against Inc and then meeting XV here. Over here on the losers bracket, WOA beat Raptors 5-0. The unfortunate loss to Raptors, they were not able to continue that underdog push. WOA made their way against Inc, and then the Germans took out the French right here to to advance here. IQ took out DT to advance here. And we had ourselves the Germans and the Spanish fighting here for supremacy. IQ coming up here on top, eliminating Inc today, going up here towards Beam. Beam lost to XV, but beats IQ to advance back up here. Of course, XV still winning. So it has been a long day here. Now we rest as June 27th, the global finals finally underway. Gar, we have XV, we have RQM. Only one of them can win for ultimate supremacy. One guild takes away a majority of the prize pool, but most importantly, claim their names as the champions of the Mists. The bragging rights trophy is on the line here.